Okie dokie, my festive gamers. Interesting day for Bounty Hunters event today. So we've got Christmas in a couple of days, and today would be the last day of the initial Season 4 patch. As is we're running a little behind on schedule, let's get all the pleasantries out of the way before we get started with this stuff. So this is Bounty Hunters that you're watching right now, and we're a weekly show match event open to players of all skill levels. That's right, anybody, no matter who you are, even if you're a top player, even if you're not a top player, you can participate just the same. The name of the game is, once again, Guilty Gear Strive in the first to 7 wins format. Goodness gracious, losing voice, even in the intro section. But yeah, with you for the next 3 hours, I'm your usual host, QK. Let's dive in and check out what's gonna happen tonight. So we got a pretty balanced roster in terms of character spread. The only double entry on the roster is Testament, and honestly, maybe a little biased here, but I do dig it so very much. Not just the fact that, you know, yours truly is a former Testament main, but I think Testament just doesn't get a whole lot of spotlight, perhaps for very good reasons. I think it's no secret that the metagame of Strive is not very kind on our stylish zoner slash pressure machine that is Testament. And what players do we have this week to represent Testament? One of the top Testament talents of EMEA, Badoor Testament from Saudi Arabia, looming at the sort of end side of the event. First time on Bounty Hunters, and dude, it's been a long time coming for me personally. I've been longing to see Badoor's Testament on an event stage since, you know, back in the day when there just weren't a whole lot of like great Testament role models still, during the early steps rather. And Badoor's, you know, games were always pretty educational to watch to start out with. Facing him today is YaBoy, or should I say, our boy, Spades, the beloved Finnish Anji player with a very recognizable style and playful personality. The other Testament match will be played amongst Spanish god gamers tonight, as that Nago guy, Jetstream Mark, and Vlink, a spicy chip player, show up on the stage with their alt characters. So I think Mark had locked with Testament for a very long time. In fact, if any of y'all have followed Mark on Twitter, you've probably seen a clip or two of him playing this character, Testament. And I can't wait to see what kind of playstyle Mark has sort of landed on during that process. Blink pondered between a couple of characters, but ended up landing on Elfelt eventually. And while Mark might have a slight edge on mains, a lot of things can happen when you hop on a sub character. Okay, so that's the Testament department. What else is on tonight? Some of the flashiest Bounty Hunters players on the menu in the late stages of tonight's matches, as the Nago comeback queen Maria makes a comeback on Bounty Hunters tonight versus Ina Bridget in a super polarizing matchup between the Pixie and the Beast. Is that how it is? I think that's like kind of what it boils down to. Also, Radoon Leo in the last matchup slot of tonight. You know when Radoon is on the roster, it's gonna be extremely exhilarating and interesting to watch. Will be placed against an Ino tonight. I can't remember the last time Radoon actually played against Ino. But Ino, of course, very changed character with Season 4. Or not very changed, but much spicier than usual. And what else? On the 3 early slots, numbers 1, 2, and 3, we got old regulars like OLC, We got old regulars like TheWorstGuy, but then we also got new debuts such as Jinx, Kai, as well as Crazy Weed Potemkin. Did we actually? I'm trying to remember if we had Weed at some point early in the show. I think not, right? So this would be a debut match for both Jinx and Weed. And then, of course, our first matchup of the evening. Let's direct our gaze to what is to come next. We got Kuro, Happy Chaos, as well as Metadona. Not Johnny this time. Gonna go up. Gonna step up with a different character this time, Abba. So the things that are similar between these players, both have cleared their introductory matches, or should we say debut matches, or initial matches on Bounty Hunters successfully. I think Kuro currently is 1-0, so up 1 win, no losses, and Metadona is up 2-0. Of course, on that early mentioned Johnny, but this time it's gonna be quite a different kind of a story, and this will create really polarizing matchup for sure, as we have, you know, Happy Chaos, who would first like to establish some sort of advantage with blocked gun, then mix you up, rather not interact without that, you know, that super strong advantage of just having the opponent in block stun and then mixing them up without them being able to do much. Abba just wants to touch you, wants to brawl, or alternatively wants to install at a safe place and then just roll over you. Fast movement speed of the install mode is gonna be super important, of course, as you can kind of outrun bullets. And Happy Chaos isn't really known for his zoning in the sort of modern patches of Guilty Gear Strive anymore, as you run out of concentration very fast nowadays. I think we have both players in the lobby, and if you guys are listening, you can definitely start at your own leisure. Alright, heading into the first match of the evening, Happy Chaos, Abba. It's hard to come up with more polarizing sort of setting. I guess you could switch Happy Chaos with like Milia or Chip, but that would create a very different kind of conundrum, as you know, characters like Happy Chaos can start from very far, but look at this start from Metadona. One hit through the wall. This ooh, the really important thing here is usually you don't want to break the wall against characters like Happy Chaos without a heart knockdown, but I think Abba is the kind of character who doesn't really care much about anything else other than being in the mode. YRC, I like that. At the very end of pop animation is gonna have a couple of extra frames. However, the setup is not tight. Metadona wakes up with a close slash, plants an anti-air. It's really important to remember that when you're going into that sort of okay situation where you know that Abba is gonna wake up or come out of block stun with 0 jelly left, she's gonna pop for around 10-ish frames where she can't do anything but block. So gotta pick up your setup properly. Curse lands, running in, so even if the curse is on, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're... Ooh, speaking of the... No! So many shots whipping! There's actually only 1 bullet left in Kuro's barrel. Gonna be able to get a couple more here with the cross-up taco kick. This is looking good. Close slash. Metadona will get the burst back here, but would they use... I think the more safer play is what Metadona chose to do here. Save it, go next round. Full burst resources versus Kuro's spent burst resources. So much better. Look at this. Yeah, your opponent just literally has nothing. And again, the reticle just doesn't find its target. That's the tricky thing. That's what we're talking about. The fast movement speed can outsmart the bullet, or technically not the bullet, but the aiming. Was that a backdash? Ooh, big catch here with the use of Keeper of the Keys. Switch to the other side. Close slash too heavy doesn't quite find its mark. However, as long as you can knock them down, that install mode is definitely fast enough to chase them. And you don't need any specific kind of Oki. Even close slash is a is kind of like a checkmate starter if Abba has enough jelly to spend still in that mode. So metadona is successfully starting with 1-0 here, going under //. Very, very, very common kind of round start. Very gamble heavy round start, but if the opponent is pressing one of their high profile pokes, you can get a pretty decent start. Missing with the close slash, and with the 2K starter, we going into the mode. Finds the overhead, misses the pickup, but it's not too bad. We are still on the hunt. The backdash, weaving back and forth. We got the hit here. Dude, we got the refresh just in the nick of time, and that's actually gonna wall stick, gonna actually break straight up. Perfectly staged, resource management there for metadona. It's safe for both of these characters. Both of these characters are really, really reliant on precise resource management. Got the aim there from the curse, and now up in the combo before the wall break comes in, and here we go. Oh no, that's a big thing. Now we are at low bullets, very low concentration, and metadona is installed. Use everything that you can to get that character off you. Very good wall break here, I presume. Yep. And look at that, very little jelly left. Refreshes it, goes straight into it with less than 25. Big gamble. Gonna pop here, and the jump slash actually lands. Not something that metadona could have definitely blocked, but was probably trying to check again with stuff like anti-airs. If the opponent's, quotation meaty setup is tight there against the pop. To the other side, nice hit. metadona still holds on to that burst. I like when the players have the sort of patience to not burst immediately. Here's a momentum burst though, keeping the prey in the corner. Landed a hit, landed another one. Bullets look good. We got the cross up in. Put the bullets in the chamber, pop the medicine, and that should be a kill because metadona ain't gonna get that burst back in time. Of course, the massive amount of burst you're gonna build back once you get wall slump, but that does not make any difference for that current sequence. For that is basically a sequence where you're locked out of using your burst. Kind of same property as if you were hitting the opponent with a super there. So very nice recovery there, 1-1. Already looking like a very, very interesting match. I personally like resource management characters a lot myself. Ooh, actually was able to combo out of that // here. Curse is on, which means the reticle is gonna latch a little faster. Not necessarily guaranteed. It is always the 1 out of 3 chance if you perform the so-called hip shots without letting the reticle find its mark. Guaranteed. Of course, when the opponent is in block stun, that reticle always finds its target. Is this gonna be an OTG? No, still gonna get it. That looked very, very close there, but I assume that super starts up very fast. With a classic instant air dash, don't press any buttons. If the opponent respects, get the throw, get the round. And now metadona once again starting the round with the command dash. Finds // immediate burst from Kuro. This might be exactly what metadona wants. Now the opponent is without defensive resources and also without offensive resources because we went bust for a moment. Close slash, is that gonna land? Who was worried that the close slash would have already expired there in terms of the active frame, so opting to drift backwards. Still a precarious situation. metadona is outside of that activation range, but has to spend the burst. There was no other way. But now, the most clumsy character in the game. No way to enter the install state anymore. Being under that 25% threshold means that until you land some hits, until you land some parries, until you land something and build that meter, you're not gonna get access to that super powerful meter, or super powerful state rather. And Abba, without her install super, one of the slowest characters in the game. Very hard to do something about, zoning characters starters such as like Happy Chaos. And even though Happy Chaos is not like the most fancy zoner, can start their game plan from very far away. Nice, gets a reversal super. This will also activate the install state. Finds a low, I like it. Small hit confirm into back dashes. The pressure afterwards, another one. 100 meter for Kuro, going into the defensive resources as should be in this kind of matchup. Because the opponent is all about aggression. What we care about is making the opponent pop, making the opponent not able to go into the install state. So it's very reasonable that you might actually save all of your defensive resources, all of your resources per, like, period, in order to get Abba off you once she actually gets a successful read-in or gets her gameplay started. Missed a shot there. Reticle successfully latching for the next sequence, and we got the super here. This will fill out the gun of Kuros, regardless of its current state. Hard knockdown. We got a lot of resources here on metadona. However, Kuro picking up the very safer route. Just, you know, use your makeshift backdash, throw the curse ball, build some distance, make metadona come to you, make Abba work for that spacing. Because Abba can be a character that wins through defense, because, like, look at this. It's so hard to drag yourself close to the opponent. Even if you have to take opponent's pressure, sometimes this might be what you actually would prefer. Being in the opponent's block string, at least you don't have to try to get yourself into the striking distance. I'm getting a little bit of a reload there. Getting really close to that point where metadona would have to think about bursting, breaking the combo earlier here. Kuro cutting it short and going into the wall break. Got a full gun. Ooh, did Kuro actually do that? I think caught the backdash there with the keeper of the key again. Jelly slowly running out. Nice blocks there. Both the lows and the overhead blocked. And now the pop is here. Won't be able to get too much active. Ooh, but the trade, I think that's in Kuros' Kuros' advantage. Yeah, with that massive life lead. Life lead. Excuse my French. That would mark the match 2-2. Very, very back and forth. Small things. When it comes to the resource management here, it's been almost always when Kuro manages to cap metadona in a very low jelly state, it tends to swing heavily in the favor of Happy Chaos with a really good reason. It's kind of like you got the opponent in a space where they can't activate, and Happy Chaos has resources. Ooh, won't be able to convert that successfully. Now an opening here for metadona. Gets hit though. I wonder, is this a place for YRC or a burst? No, metadona still holding on to that. He's gonna pop here after this combo. So even this is a soft knockdown, it's kind of hard knockdown, right? Because 10 frames here, drifting forward and catching them in the vulnerable state. I think the drift is fast enough so that there is nothing that metadona can actually press there during that 10 frame of guaranteed blocking. 2S. All right. But the immediate burst here from Kuro, once again, use that burst as a defensive measure. I guess something that Happy Chaos players would do anyway, because, like, going back to neutral is one of your best positions to begin with. But doubly so because we are playing against Abba, against who you probably want to burst around the time when you get hit and the opponent has, like, only limited amount of jelly left in the gauge. Either way, zero jelly. Abba once again will fall prey to Kuro's Happy Chaos. It's a very, very fickle matchup. It's metadona's wins have basically always been at like when we get the engine started very early. Speaking of, we're starting very early here. The far slash, very hard to contest. Oh my god, I'm actually surprised that Kuro chose to swing against the installed metadona. Now we are bust, but are we out of options here? There we go with the combo. And then the activation is going to be a soft... No, never mind. This is going to be a hard knockdown. And using the right super here, Keeper of the Key will make sure that you don't spend that jelly that is in the tank still. Ooh, good use of FT from Kuro. Pushing metadona away from those early hits so that the overhead ends up missing in the end. Because usually you do go from a couple of lows into the overhead, which has limited range. Can't do anything here, I think. Yeah, just YRC, or rather blue RC to make sure that we are not doing anything. At the very last moment, the tilt comes through, and this, wow, really? Was that on purpose or on accident? The massive speed range, look at that. The instant air dash into buttons. There is no escape, literally. You can only try to hope that the Abba player does not predict your trajectory. Alright, the hit into tick throw into a left-right mix-up is gonna be usually the go-to type of mix-up from Happy Chaos, but we can also go for the strike throw. Any hit is quite plus and will lead into potential, you know, close slash or just ticking of the gunshot itself. But now, this is full jelly. Yeah, Kuro is gonna... Ooh, wait! Gonna be in a state where they can't block. This is gonna be an auto wall break. And now, from the hard knockdown, we're gonna mix into overhead. We got the hit. Follow up with a close slash. That's the ABBA gaming. You get into the groove and it flows. The snowball rolls down the mountain. The little snowflake at the start. You only need 25 jelly. You could start with so little and end up with everything if you have resources and if you know the best routes. That said, the routing for ABBA can be sometimes like relatively advanced kind of stuff. Definitely a character that needs a lot of execution if you want to play her successfully at the top level. Alright, finding a hit here. And again, choosing to take the wall break without the hard knockdown. So a lot of defensive resources here for Kuro. But only one shot left. Oh my god, I think that was a mistake. Keeper of the key won't be able to do anything here. Have to hold it and then straight into the tilt. The thing with the Keeper of the Key outside of install and within install Keeper of the Key is super good and will give you infinite amount of plus frames. The normal mode, not so much. YRC here to spend time or rather waste time from the gauge. Ooh, the pop here will not be able to get metadona to punish even though they get the backdash. Against the throw, both players kind of out of their resources. Having to swing, oh my god, what a conundrum! Happy Chaos will not be able to take out the gun, nor will metadona. The other player will be able to go into the install state. A little bit of advanced cat and mouse there. But now, activating, we got the side switch, but oh, the close slash! Look at this damage, look at that life bar melt! That is one touch popping next to, but that is still plus for metadona. Knows the setup, we got the activation, 25, waiting for the YRC! Yeah, metadona has been looking at Kuro's defensive patterns. I might have... Ooh, but wait a second. Close slash here. Getting really close to the burst. Will Kuro be able to get it? Nice! Skips into the super just before the burst goes active. Granted, I think the safe play for Kuro would have been not to use that, but why risk it? Like, you would have to perhaps think about stuff like, is this the last round? Would they really burst? In the heat of the moment, you just probably want to perform the kill. Nice parry there on the gunshot, actually. Guaranteeing that metadona is now full jelly. And we get the activation. Won't be able to get the anti-air out on time. That jelly mode activation does still take quite a lot of frames around, like, is it like somewhere between half a second and a second? Something like that. Through the wall, we still have half jelly left, but we are in a defensive situation. The massively good backdash does get metadona out of the gunshot, but not the follow-up situation. Desperately tries to get into the point-blank range and see the startup of the roll. The cross-up still lands, and that should be a kill. Take out the Deus Ex Machina, the double shot, bam! And it's once again Kuro going one up in this matchup that has been seesawing back and forth. 4 points, yeah. One each at a time. We are nearing the, past the mid-mark point of the set, and oftentimes, or rather sometimes in these FT7s, this is exactly the point where one player might have a chance to build up some... Whoa, hello! Frame trapping with a gold burst, successfully no less. So that was a positive bonus for Kuro even before the wall break situation. Now we'll be able to go into this the next hard knockdown with a full tension bar, and that positive bonus is gonna build so much back so fast. Has already another stock there. Is the super actually from Espa? Whoa, won't be able to get into the throw range. Just has to hold that Keeper of the Key once again. Oh, critical miss on the curse ball, and here comes metadona from the ground, from the air, everywhere. Won't be unfortunately able to get the deactivation or the refill here, but with the last bits of the jelly, YRC once again the option to force the pop and then into guaranteed left-right mix-up situation. Once again, impeccable usage of your defensive resources for Kuro. Not hitting the YRC immediately, but hitting it just before the pop is coming, which will basically guarantee that there won't be any refill combos. There will be no recharge combos. But now the 2S ends up whiffing, but we're still on the hunt. Look at that fast movement speed. YRC once again, please, please. I think that was a backdash. No, not this time. This time Kuro holds. And the last of that last mix-up overhead. Kuro tries to use that frame advantage to get out of the corner. However, Metadona ready to read it. The 2S catches from both sides, as does this install super, or rather air button. Will be able to uninstall during that super. Unfortunately, didn't spend enough time in the mode this time to be able to get to that threshold. Still in the gray area of that key gauge. And now big chance for Kuro. Even though we have kind of low health, this is an ABBA who won't be able to move around, except Blue Wild Assault. That might be the biggest burst of momentum that you can produce on this slow-ass character. And that ends up being enough, catching Kuro off guard. The first time we see a Wild Assault usage in this matchup. Ooh, that was a close last starter. This is gonna hit hard, and I think Kuro knows it. I think that was gonna be a kill. Once again, Keeper of the Key says no zoning allowed here. The one tool that basically says don't take out your gun. No matter what zoning character you are, if ABBA is installed and if ABBA has 50, it is always a massive risk to try to start zoning. This character with those conditions fulfilled cannot be zoned if they choose to not be, basically. At the cost of 50 meter, of course. Was able to catch one of the gunshots there with a parry once again. And now Metadona just kind of looking for an opening here, hopefully trying to find it before they get mixed up to death. Activation, ooh, the jumpy. Won't be able to get the hard knockdown here. Metadona dancing back and forth. YRC into, wait a second. I think that was a, so recover out of the jump or out of the 2S and then straight into Judgment. Ooh, nice pick up there. Won't be able to get the key grab. But the close slash is inevitable. Not in range for a throw, I think. And now, plus everything, you have to take this mix-up. It is 2K2D. I think there is a little bit of like a slight difference between the timings of just starting with a 2 heavy and going in with 2K2D instead. So making it very ambiguous when and how we are mixing in with those lows. Once again, the air-to-air situation. Yeah, Kuro completely grasps the gravity of this situation. And speaking of that, missing the super there. I think the K was meant to be Keeper of the Key. Cash out? Is the super gonna kill? I think could have maybe killed with the reversal super, but still in a really good position. YRC, please give me my turn. 2 bullets. Is it enough? We're gonna pop, but now 100 meter for Metadona. We could use that for normal Keeper of the Key here. Reversal super, yes, indeed, of course. What do you think would happen when the opponent sees you with 0 life, 100 meter, reversal super RC? The classic. No matter what happens, the defender can't really be outsmarted there. It's kind of like, I have 100 and I just want to wake up. And they can. Almost every character in the game can. So now goes for a very dangerous recharge there. I think that was another hard knockdown situation, but we're back in it. Pressuring in the corner. Looking like eventually losing some resources, but now finding the hit. Problem here, we are basically 50 at both bullets and concentration. But with the positive bonus, we will be able to build back into options that can remedy those situations. Remember, if you run out of one resources, you can always fix it with the use of 50 meter. Deus Ex Machina, refills your bullets, and the super concentration basically refills your concentration gauge. If you run out of both of those resources at once, then you're in huge trouble usually. Tick with the 5D, and we're one of those characters who can pick it up afterwards as long as we have the external resources. There was too much of a gap there. First, the close slash, then the reversal super. We're now in the mode, and this is dangerous. Immediately goes into the YRC. Please, not this. The strongest pressure in the game, or perhaps not even pressure, the nastiest mix-ups. And so the time flows slowly. No, there's a gap there. Popping in the middle of the gunshot. Now, there are some... Ooh, won't be able to catch there. Going to the other side with the Takoki. Gets a punish and gets the round. Kuro, of course, as it is written in the script. Delivered, distributed to the players. Once again, going basically down to the wire. 5-5 here. Next player to score 2 points is gonna take this super exciting first match of the evening. And what a match has it been once again. I feel like we've had this as a theme for the last month, that the first matchup of the evening is so goddamn hype. Feels like that's happening once again. 2 lows into an overhead. Kuro just casually blocking everything. Look at this guy. Look at this guy surviving against the onslaught of mix-ups. Here comes the keeper of the key. Nothing to do about that. Run in. Uncontested overhead. And then the burst. Yeah. I think this is, even though Kuro did get mixed up in the end, this is like perfect play. Waited for the defensive resource burn until we can pop, or rather force Aba into a situation where they are gonna pop. But now, we have a small, short activation here, but look at that. Able to get the 2S. Combo! It doesn't quite link into super... Ah, that's a miss, confirm! And now, Kuro with a big chance, hopping to the other side. Was that a left or right? I think that was a cross-up. Going to the right side. Gunshot misses. Gotta be careful here. Finds the shot. And now question here, is Metadona gonna burst and play? Or are they gonna try to take that resource to the next round? YRC, he has a big chance. Immediate YRC back. Finds an IR tight low. That is +10 after all. The first gunshot misses, but the second one does manage to home in on the target during Kuro's backdash. Hopping over. Metadona on the hunt. Try to again go for that very... Ooh, interesting. The deflection in the air actually is an option to introduce certain kind of RPS there to make yourself land faster. But now, Metadona in a situation where we desperately need that jelly, able to build it with the blocked key grabs. Ooh, but that's gonna whiff completely. Small combo to just knock them down and then go into the mix-up. Big throw is the choice number 1 for the mix. Cross-up is the next one. What is that? What is that? And it does hit, but won't be able to cash out completely. Maybe it does not matter, because we're still flowing. Couple of bullets. Once again, the reversal super completely whiffing. That is such a boon for Happy Chaos, being able to perform that Oki so that the reversal super of Abbas is just completely gonna whiff there. Because you take out the gun and in a state... Wait, was that already 7? Did I miscount again? Oh, I think that's it. I think it was a classic miscount by... I see. I think I put 1 point on Metadona. The word from the audience comes that it was in fact 6-4 going into that. So that would be 7 for Kuro. Alright, and we definitely believe it. Alright, but good stuff for the first of the evening. Both ways, both players playing the game as it is supposed to be played, playing the advantages, playing to the character strengths as much as possible. But in the end, it is Kuro who stands at the end with a very narrow margin though. And what do we got next? All right, so double match coming up next where we have an old school bounty hunter versus a first-time bounty hunter. The first one of those would be the worst guy, Faust, from the Finn squad. And the opponent here is gonna be Jinx Kai. And I can't hide my excitement for actually both of these characters. Faust, of course, because every single Faust player is entertaining. I think the nature of the character Faust is just so great. It's no matter how you play, I think because of how Faust plays, it's always going to be very interesting because of the items. But I mean, most of the players that we have on Bounty Hunters are very entertaining as well. And then we have my boy Kai, the king of fundamentals. Some players say that it's boring, that, you know, Shoto characters are just not very interesting to watch. I beg to differ. I think Kai, especially with the new sort of the new power that we've gotten from Dragon Install, some of the new combos, I think it just all makes Kai. Well, Kai was, before even those changes, Kai was a very interesting character. Kai has always been a very interesting character to me. Even though it's shades of vanilla, shades of basic, I gotta say, I love vanilla. I love my vanilla. And I think Kai, especially being vanilla in a matchup like Faust, a strange matchup where you're playing against a character who can potentially create advantages from your character's weaknesses. Kai, however, does not really have any like notable weaknesses. You can't really be zoned because you are sort of like a pseudo zoner yourself. I'm not really a zoner, but you know what Shotos do. They have tools for all kinds of situations, all kinds of ranges. And Faust kinda can't take too much of an advantage of that. And here we go into the second matchup of the evening. We got Worst from Finland facing up against Jinx from Wales. I think most of Worst matches on Bounty Hunters so far have been extremely close. Whether it be win, whether it be lose, it's like it always so close. So one of the most entertaining players perhaps to watch on Bounty Hunters. Here we go from the defensive situation, back throw into the kind of situation where you absolutely want to be as a Faust player. However, Jinx perhaps predicting the throw there. Double jump over the buttons of Worst, and because the target is electrified, the combos are also so. Misses the super on, I think, Sacred Edge there, wanted to go for with that P. We've had a lot of failed inputs on the supers tonight, but it's sometimes kind of hard when you get a wall stick with a very clunky kind of move, and then you need to try to buffer your super successfully there, coming out of that hit stun, or rather the block stun. Oh, I like that. Worst actually tried to go for a crawl there, but Jinx completely predicting it. Here's the DPS well. But there was no electricity there, so no notable frame advantage for Jinx. Now still holding Worst in the corner. We have electricity this time. YRC, get me out of here. I still want to play. Ooh, nailing basically the Afro in. But that angle, look at that, the double jump D combo. Is this still a juggle, or was that an OTG? That was an OTG, wasn't it? Oh, but wait a second. That was a close slash into what? But it dropped? Tragedy strikes Worst as they had a punish opportunity of their life after that miss RTL. Might have, like, a lot of players in that situation might be like, all right, so the round is over. Because, like, they get the super and I'm dead, and then suddenly you notice, no, it's not over yet, and in fact I have a punish coming up. Nice air to air once again, the jump gate into a plus frame situation perhaps. Jinx once again, ooh, this time landing straight into the stun dipper, finds a hit. Counter hit on the, what's that, not food react, the God, I always forget the name of that move. I will probably remember it at some point. At the latest, when Kai yells out the name of his special move. Oh, I think there was a hammer there. So lots of junk. Oh no, the self-explosion here. Gotta be really careful. Both Jinx and Worst are at the worst possible hit points. Deflection. Oh, it's a double KO. Of course, from the deflect shield, you would usually try to whiff punish, try to force your turn, but then the trade there at a very interesting life situation forces an even resolution to the match. Careful with the bomb. We got a bombo here. Overextended a little bit. Now has stored a hammer. You should take it out immediately. A hammer is one of those tools that can basically guarantee that your opponent is not gonna close in on you. Sacred Edge lands. Was that an OTG? Nobody knows, but the electricity has been applied for sure from a hit. Ah, loses the opportunity to combo. I think a little late on the button there after the instant air dash. The double jump once again. This time, Worst has seen that 1 or 2 times, or maybe 3 times already, and this time finds the timing, finds the angle for the anti-air. Definitely evolving in the RPS department. Teleports under, and I think that was a punish on the landing recovery here. Now Jinx comes in with a vengeance, trying to rush in with that little amount of life. The jump heavy ends up whiffing. That's the curse of the Kisk family. It's so hard to find a hit on the opponent who's on the ground if you're trying to jump in. It's more of a button where you try to defend your airspace and kind of hope that the opponent extends themselves into it. But this time, there is no extension.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Worst does not put themselves into that hitbox and then gets to push offense afterwards. Okay, that was a trumpet that Worst did inhale here, so we'll probably be able to utilize. I think you can still steer the items when you take them out of your stomach, right? So potentially being able to set up a very favorable trumpet at some point. But I think Jinx realizes the situation and not sleeping on the wheel, trying to push it. Oh, coming from the upwards angle with the teleport RC. One of the go-to, one of the most beloved tools of Faust players, especially through close-out rounds. It's not necessarily the most damaging combos that you can go for. Oh, bombos though. Oh, the bomb exposing the sky. The Afro has been applied, and here comes the F-Shiki utilizing that extended hurt box of the crouching box of the opponent. 5K ends up trading here. Fight for, oh, I love that. It was pretty costly here, but I mean, Worst had a checkmate situation. Could reset the block string into blue while assault to be extremely plus, but while doing that, we'll be able to pick up the trumpet as well. So there was no doubt there. Burning the resources was the go-to move for sure. And in that situation, I think Jinx, the only thing that they can do is spend like YRC or spend burst and try to fight for the trumpet and then try to flip the momentum on its back like that. Like this exactly. I like this kind of like quite a bit myself. It's using the burst when you're kind of losing the RPS on the trumpet. So not only do you get out of the pressure or the combo of Faust player, but you will be able to secure the trumpet for yourself as well. 5K lands an anti-air, and the jump heavy is keeping Jinx honest on the ground or perhaps in the air. Is this a true combo? Yep, true combo into the dragon install. That's gonna be so plus. Able to set up the stun dipper in a safe manner there from that heavy stun edge. And landing into close. Wait, was Jinx actually airborne there? Because that mix didn't look like initially was gonna be plus, but huh. Oh, unfortunately hitting themselves out of the block string. We're still able to get out of that situation and push Jinx towards the corner here with the air dash combo. Big one. We have an option. Ooh, drops it at the end, but perhaps Perhaps it is fine. The burst, is it coming? Not yet. Jinx is cutting it really close. Would definitely love to take that burst into the next round, but alas, loses the round start into Dragon Install combo. This looks good. How much resources? Worst is really high on those resources. What a combo. Refuses to get wall broken. The jump K, not quite getting the combo into the 6K. Crouching under, and then standing up to block the 5D. Perfect plays. Crouching just enough that they can kind of maybe even bait a response there with that 5D. Because like, you see Faust crouching, you're like, all right, I'm gonna overhead you out of that. But if you transition from that crouch, basically like, accept the fact that you're not gonna get fully out of that stock charge stun edge, but then still stand up to block the overhead, and then it's gonna be minus for Kai, right? Because it's just a 5D. All right, good anti-air for very, very far away. Throwing a lot of items. We'll be able to procure the trumpet. With the OTG, we'll be able to throw 2 more items. A lot of items that control space. And once again, expecting the movement from Jinx into the trumpet territory. You can, of course, always use those, forcing the Afro on Jinx. Ooh, the trade there, or the land of the clash. It's just two disadvantages of a situation there, despite all of that good evasion and that clash there. Jinx just did not have enough HP to play this, the follow-up situation. All right, the little guy still on board. Ooh, comes into the screen at the very perfect moment here in terms of worst. Used as an anti-air here. We'll be able to force Jinx to take the Afro. I'm actually not sure which one is better if you can choose. Put the Afro on the opponent or pick it up yourself so that you can throw it. I think forcing it on the opponent is usually better, maybe? From the counter hit combo, won't be able to build into 50 meter, but that's not an issue because we have such a good starter. One of the best ones for Faust. It's usually that close slash or the 5K anti-air that leads into that extremely high damage juggle, especially if you have the corner so that you can bounce back and forth between the opponent in the in your wall bounce combo. All right, a very notable advantage here for worst. Now, big question here, how is Jinx gonna find those advantages? Missing with that jump K. Once again, the Kiss curse where a lot of your buttons are just not very deeply hitting or don't hit very deep. So this character extremely good for playing neutral or playing defensive air to air, but not very good at offensive maneuvers from the air and so on. Once again, we're trying to fish for that anti-air. Neutral activation on the Dragon install. Ooh, that actually bounces the bomb back in there. With a massive run speed, we'll be able to outrun the bomb. And then the fast startup of the fireballs. Ooh, wait a second, that super fireball actually comboed into Stun Dipper. And still, I think the fireball was active there for the duration of the Stun Dipper. Once again, being able to be plus after the fact. Little guy closing in. Yeah, won't be able to skip it, and it's coming back. Double whammo, complete. That's a double combo breaker of sorts, or double momentum breaker. Basically, the maximum amount of advantage you could ever get from your little guy. Speaking of those little guys, one of those is on board. I think it was hole-in-one to the other side of the screen. We'll be able to break out of the dash before that stun edge, the super stun edge comes out. The little guy is still there, but for how long? I think took their leave to the left side of the screen, but that does not end up being an issue for worst, for we have found a hit once again, a successful one. And this is starting to be a super important round here for Jinx. We gotta take this. Close slash, however, we've been talking about those shallow anti-air hits, or rather shallow air hits. Here, though, a good example how Kai Kisk is super good air-to-air. The jump K, very good air-to-air angle. Sort of targeting opponents above you. The bomb, ooh, the bomb is gonna explode, yep. Worst, definitely on top of the situation, knows that they had to block there. Drops the combo and the jump 2K to skip over the Abare 2P. Worst blazing forward with the super entertaining Faust plays. Once again, just presence of mind in every single situation. As you, as a Faust player, of course, should have. You should have your wits about you when you throw an item. Perhaps the item gets thrown off screen, but you still do know in your heart, ooh, won't be able to get a punish against that. Now, the burst has been used for Jinx in an offensive manner in order to try to hold burst in the corner, but there are just so many items, so many obstacles here. Bombs, 10-ton hammers here, even the hammer. God, there's so much junk. Help! Perfect sequence of items trying to activate, but the horde is coming. The horde is coming. No, wait, it's not coming? I thought I heard a trumpet there. But now, with only Dragon install, carrying them forward will not be able to be enough. The gap is closing, or rather, the buffer is increasing in Worst's favor. We gotta do something. Finds the hit, that's a pretty good hit. Lots of damage, drops it at the end though. Meteors forcing Jinx into the bad situation. Wait. Got crossed up there. I think that was not the special move that Jinx initially wanted, but they will happily take it. Missing the charge up combo once again. It's gonna be a big miss. Basically give a DP punish to Worst, but Worst's life is running out and gets clipped by Stun Dipper, the classic. When you need one more hit, of course, you're gonna use your fastest advancing move here. Nice RPS there, using the far slash between those hits, basically hard rating that there will be a Foudre arc. What's it gonna be? Yep, lots of good items here. 2 bombs in there holding Jinx in place in block stun. And the Afro is picked up as well. Yeah, I knew that there was gonna be an F-Shiki. There was gonna be some sort of an overhead shenanigan coming. Would really love to get rid of that Afro. It will time out eventually, but we're going to a neutral situation here. 2P, was that a 2P preventing Stun Dipper going online? Have to hold it. Ooh, never mind, jumping out of the bombs. The bravery of Jinx has sort of paid off. Is this a punish? No, it's gonna push so far away, crawling under the super, and then the counter hit from the 2S. What a 2S to play there. What was Worst even reading? Was that just a footsie situation? Just a simple, you know, I'm just gonna, I just know my 2S is gonna get a big counter hit here. It was definitely not an anti-air situation. Who would jump there? I don't even know what Worst ended up counter poking from Jinx, but the choice of buttons once again, immaculate. This is basically Faust play. Faust has generally, like historically, been the Guilty Gear character that plays most with their good ass normals. Picking the right normal for the right situation is everything for Faust. Maybe a little bit of, you know, understanding how items work, but, you know, playing with your normal is definitely the most important thing. Gets a cross up, however, Jinx initially procced into the right direction, but because of that incoming goon there, won't be able to defend against the block, or sorry, the throw. A little bit of an item pickup there. However, the gravity perhaps ends up cucking Worst's combo. It does not matter. We had a little guy there holding down the fourth, and it seems like Worst is unstoppable at the moment. Everything is going in his favor. The RPS, the throw, the item, everything. Now Jinx will be able to outrun the bomb and get into a pressure situation. Lots of flash frames from that electrified Foudre arc. To the other side, but however, landing recovery, being punished once again by Worst's throw. Straight into the corner, and the jump in button hits. Wait, it was actually Jinx who got the trumpet here. A saving grace, perhaps, a little bit of good stroke of luck, but will that be enough? Worst is very close to their burst, and Jinx would love to keep his burst to the next round, but forced to spend it here. Taking no risk whatsoever, eliminating Worst in this round, but that means we're going into the potential last round. set point position for Worst, and Worst gets to start it with full burst resources, whereas Jinx has absolutely none to spend. Forcing the Afro with hole-in-one, that new stuff, really cool. I think that's exactly what Faust players needed and wanted, being able to force the opponent interact with the incoming items in a way. Anti-air jump heavy into a big combo. Balls is out of the corner, however. Worst somehow ends up recovering there. Last chance for Jinx. Are we gonna get DP? No, we're just gonna get jumped in. The worst guy. Able to clear the set with confidence. Absolute iron heart confidence. Lots of good items, as you would imagine, in Faust matchups. It's the age-old wisdom. Eventually, you're gonna get good stuff, right? Because you can't really prevent Faust players from throwing items. It's the how often do you let Faust players throw those items? Because eventually there's gonna be a good one. Eventually they're gonna get an opening. And then, oh boy then, it's gonna be fun stuff. But really good effort there for Jinx. Hopefully we'll get to see more of Jinx Kai in later dates. But for now, we are proceeding into the next matchup. Another old versus new, OLC versus Crazy Weed. In a very classic, hard-hitting matchup. We got a funny anchor girl who hits extremely hard with especially that button on screen right now, 5 heavy counter hits. The Merrymaker, the big starter. But also, on the right side of the screen, we have another super hard hitting move. Potemkin Buster, now with added armor frames after the 5 frames of startup. The damage of this move is going to be reduced a little tomorrow, though. I think, if I recall the patch notes correctly, the 200 damage Potemkin Buster hit is going to be reduced to 180 damage now in the patch that follows. But I mean, 180 damage is quite a lot of damage. It's way more than many characters will be able to ever dream of doing with like a B&B combo. So we have a Crazy Weed already ready to go, so let's signal OLC that we are ready to rock. Let me search, or let me get the ID as well. That might have been what OLC was potentially missing. Yes, sorry. I always have the ID in the comment that usually scrolls past pretty fast. Right, but we have both players in the lobby. It's gonna be explosive. Both players, or rather both characters, really, really good at close distances. And I'm very interested to see, because like, there's just so much that has changed for Potemkin since Season 4. Not just, you know, the general state of his game plan, but on defense. I mean, Potemkin historically is a character that has to play from defense quite a bit, has to play from blocking scenarios quite a bit. So knowing your defensive RPS options against the opponent's block strings, super important. In previous patches, it tended to be the backwards Mega Fist that basically puts you airborne, or rather puts your defensive hitbox, or rather hurtbox, so high, so fast that it was like, it was really easy to escape a lot of block strings, even like close slash block strings where you know, close slashes like Johnny, Slayers, Milias would hit very high, but backwards Mega Fist would just sort of put you outside of those distances and able to hop you out of those pressure strings. That has been completely reduced to nothingness, technically, since Season 3. But now instead, Potemkin has the Armored Buster to create completely different kind of RPS on defense. And how that pans out in particular matchups, you know, I'm super interested to see how it is, because I haven't seen a lot of Potemkin matchup other than Sin versus Potemkin so far. OLC pushing the advantage from the beginning. There's the backwards Mega Fist though. Even though the hurt box is no longer as good as it was, it is still an option. Flipping to the other side with the use of RC, and now we're mixing. We are guessing for our death. OLC gets out of there though, and oh, don't have a 50 meter there, so we'll be punished. Accompanied by super fast RC, will be able to backdash out of that throw, but no opening. The double backdash commits to that escape, trying to break the confrontation, trying to build distance between the characters, and once we do, engage. Oh my god, the 5P! Look at the range of that thing. That was far slash into a split, and that actually managed to produce a like far-hitting hitbox enough to be able to poke OLC out of that. What? We're with the options here, and here comes the Armored Buster, the defensive option that a lot of characters, or rather a lot of players, have dreaded playing against this patch. Sliding into a perfect situation, taking them out with the air option, the air heat knuckle, or rather the heat knuckle, which is always grounded, of course. And into the Buster once again. If you don't jump, if you don't backdash, you are in a striking distance. Very, very dangerous there. Of course, the RPS usually is that... oh, we have the wrong names as well. Sorry about that. And Crazy Weed is up 1 point. But yeah, the usual RPS after S Dolphin is that you're so minus that your options are either to backdash and force the opponent to try to play an RPS option that chases you, or utilize that fact that you think your opponent is gonna play that option and then play a quick mashing option of your own. Look at that footsies! Hello! The jump heavy, backwards moving momentum, poking Crazy Weed out of that. Big heart rate starter, the 2K gets tagged by OLC's low hitting 3K. OTG. So we get out of there for now, landing into a jump B, threading the needle. Here we go with the conversion, spend 50 on that 3K conversion, take them to the corner. However, missing the combo, or perhaps resetting, but sliding on block straight into the loving arms of our massive giant Potemkin. Gotta be very careful when you unload with that normal. It is a super good normal. Can engage from like half screen distance, can go under stuff, and can be an okay combo starter if you have, I guess, 50 meter. But on block, oh boy, on block, it is usually at least -5, which means it's Buster time. Now the beach ball is gonna combine. Ooh, wait, that was actually not a safe setup. So OLC will be able to get punished here after the Gigantor neutral trade. I think Crazy Weed can't afford to trade much longer. The back Mega Fist still active there. We're perhaps in a fighting position. Backdash into instant air dash jump heavy will be able to contest Crazy Weed out of that back Mega Fist. I wonder if back in the day, if in the previous patches, that back Mega Fist would have been able to evade that jump heavy. I guess we shall never know, because those days are gone. Once again, good read, straight from the round start. Just barely missing with the timing of the Buster. Still a good position for Crazy Weed. Try to go for the meter burn in order to get an advantageous position. Ooh, what a whiff punish there. It's one of the most important features that you gotta have, no matter who you are against Potemkin. Ooh, big counter hit. There's the 5 heavy, the first of the set. Massive damage coming in, and with the or rather the Orca. No, not the Orca. The what manner of sea creature is this? Big fish huge fish, enormous. Can't remember the names of those at the moment. Well, that's it. That's the fish. Ooh, this time, I think that was a perfect setup by Weed this time, crossing up with the heat tackle and then ending up in plus frames after the Gigantor. I think it was the setup that he was trying to look for in the previous situation, but probably... Oh, I think, was it because the beach ball had collided with Gigantor, reducing its hits, making a slightly different kind of situation? But now, the situation is as follows. Lots of damage coming through. However, big fucking fish missing in the disadvantage of OLC. However, we're pushing for, trying to go for the throw, but Crazy Weed is like, no, I'm gonna throw. And then a little bit of a show of perhaps whatchamacallit. I think that was a really great follow-up to the massive read there. It's kind of like feeling yourself. Yeah, I knew you were gonna throw, so let me throw you instead. Now this time, 6K actually catching the tail end of OLC's 3K. I think we've mostly seen 3K beat that 6K before, but now how have the turns tabled? That's a close slash starter, and I think this is combo where you can actually pick up after the dolphin. No, it's gonna just wall break immediately. Still a really great place for OLC. Deflect Shield has been used. Oh, we're gonna fly past. Trying to go for a little bit of a air-to-air interception there, but not committing completely, which is understandable. You don't necessarily wanna go into like a massive commitment here while Potemkin is airborne, because Jump D is kind of a hard button to deal with, and on the other hand, a lot of Potemkins come down with that exact Jump D. So if you just make that whiff, you could get a punish on the landing frames, right? Without taking too much of a risk. Catch on the backdash there. Ooh, there we go, successful. Full screen YOLO 3K tries to go for it again. However, that 6 heavy hitbox preventing it from going active. That 6 heavy is surprisingly good at preventing anything from coming in as long as it's active. To the other side with the jumpy. Ooh, gets actually a decent pickup out of that. Small damage, but you know, this is the classic exert style gameplay. Ooh, we got out of there. Clash? Jump D from Potemkin clashing with the 2 heavy. I mean, why am I surprised? That Jump D from Potemkin has been the go-to. You can't anti-air this kind of move for a very, very long time. But now a big starter from the air-to-air counter hits. You know these combos. You know the happy little funny anchor girl hits you very hard whenever a heavy button is included. As a starter, however, powering through, I think that was close range pressure. There is at least 5 frames between those hits. Oh my god, close slash counter hit. Immediate burst there from OLC. OLC still wants to break this. Touches the armor and lands straight in front of OLC. Of course, we spent the 50 meter as well. That's gonna be a kill. And Crazy Weed in a position to fight for a 2-2 position here. Oh, again, the 5D. I wonder what that 5D is. It is some sort of a hard read. And the cool thing is Crazy Weed has been going for a lot of those really flashy looking counter plays here. Jump D switches positions, gives Weed a massive conversion. 6 heavy, look at this damage. Oh baby, look at this damage. And the wall break damage is still coming. 60%. Soft knockdown though. And again, very daring plays. Minus from that, you know, that gold burst, but still attempting to go between, trying to play that buster, trying to play it again. However, nobody's home. OLC is backdashing. There's a really great read with a heat tackle, taking the opponent out of the sky. But on the other hand, this button also takes the opponent out of the sky. Yo! That was a lot of stuff. Initially, I thought, is that beach ball actually gonna beat the startup of the super? And if not, I guess OLC was like, I guess I'll up Dolphin. I guess I'll catch you out of that. Kind of a daring play though, if your timing is off, and if the Heavenly Potemkin Buster is still active, you... But I mean, I guess the acceleration on Heavenly Potemkin Buster is so fast that if you start your up Dolphin after the flash, you should never get crapped, right? There's no way like you're gonna be able to go above Potemkin or even match his like horizontal airborne level. So the up dolphin should probably be a pretty good option there most of the time. Anyway, OLC with a 3-1 lead here. Oh, again, once again, super good anti-air RPS there against the splits and the 6k RPS, or rather the 6k neutraling. Drifting forward, trying to force something that's gonna be a punish. Small one though, because OLC didn't have the 50 meter to burn yet. That's sort of the one damage conditional where May doesn't produce massive results, is when you're hitting with normal hit far range pokes, usually not leading into much. For those situations, you're gonna need to have your 50 meter ready to go. Oh, straight into the embrace of Potemkin. We're comboing into the wall break as well. This is gonna build a lot of meter back to OLC. Almost full burst and almost full tension as well. Will we be able to? No, it points completely. The protected hitbox of Jump D, the cheeks of evasiveness, allowing Crazy Wheat to somehow be outside of that anti-air range. Granted, OLC went for that very, very early, and the Jump D is a very delayed move, so there's that. Into an empty throw. Unfortunately, throwing out of the corner here, which probably not the best proposition. Oh, we'll just throw you back in there again. Waiting for the burst, which is never coming. Trying to match the air jump height here. Cross up with the split. Here we go. We still have a chance for OLC. There is meter as well, so even if you, or rather burst as well, so even if we run out of tension for conversions, we still have the red wild assault. Luckily, will not be won't be forced to use any of that, and OLC now could potentially have those red wild assault conversions here. Just opts to go for a beach ball off of this hit. 2k 2D basic stuff, and oh, what a shimmy! That's gonna hit hard. Crazy Beat not enough to get the burst back during that combo, and now with that little of life, is there even gonna be a good burst? Maybe we could use that for whoa. What a 2S! With the slow Battistini walk straight. Oh my god! Was that a grab out of S? Fish? S Dolphin, but in the end, it ends up not being enough. With a little bit of life to spend, OLC overcomes the RPS, overcomes the tricky situation. We got crapped out of our Dolphin. No worries. Just, concentrate on the next situation and run it back. Ooh, the air-to-air situation. That could have been very dangerous either way. Up Dolphin, skipping a hop over that 2S, but then Crazy Meat switching it up a little, using an anti-air move instead to catch the incoming May from the sky. And now, yeah, hopping over 5 heavy, that works for sure if your timing is right, trying to snatch them out of the air. However, nobody's home. Burst, so that Crazy Wheat doesn't get forced into a bad situation, but that's a 5 heavy counter hit, and here comes the pain. We're not gonna take the wall break here with a 50 meter though. Ooh, just gonna get grabbed out of that, just like that. I wonder, was that a misinput for OLC there? Would you always take the wall break here? I think the answer is probably yes, but in the heat of the moment, ooh, hold that thought, we got a big counter hit jump heavy here, and same thing repeats. This time, we have to take the wall break with a fully charged 6 heavy. Still, a very decent amount of damage. Look at that! Look at that telekinetic hit! The footsies of Guilty Gear are immaculate. Yeah, this time realizes that the back Mega Fist is still alive. I think OLC was in that situation before as well and lost when they tried to press a button, but now pushing it, close slash starter, and just in case, sinking another extra 50 in there, just in case if the opponent had burst ready or if I drop my combo. No matter, it's gonna get me the round. OLC closing in, but again, really precise RPS, really nice timings with that 5B. Uh-oh, that's gonna collide, right? Straight into the... Is somehow able to dodge even while moving backwards. OLC avoiding the mirror. Looking for a whiff punish there. That 2S was, I like that, but the Potemkin has so slow buttons. Much slower than many other characters. And now, we got the ball break with a more hard-hitting super. and looking for that one last hit. Burst is ready to go, and almost 50 meter. But it ain't enough. Even if it was deflect shield, would have been grabbed here. I wonder, even if it's the, like, Gigantor PRC, would that get grabbed as well? I think so, right?
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Now OLC in a really, really nice position. 5-1. It's a very close 5-1 so far, looking at the contents of the match. That trade is going to be favorable for Crazy Weed, and powering through with the armor. RC, oh no, the RC doesn't actually register as a strike there. So no bounce for Crazy Weed, and instead OLC comes in with the bounce. Bounce, 5 heavy at the end, ends up missing, but we're going into the reset, baby. Backwards jump heavy. No throws to be caught there. And again, the armor frames the very late PRC. Hits OTG though, putting Crazy Weed in a disadvantageous situation. In fact, I think that was a punish even. All right, couple of hits, tries to check with the 5D. However, OLC ready to stand up and block overhead, and then you're going for a ride across the universe. Did that beach ball miss? That was a really ambiguous looking setup. And now, speaking of ambiguous, yeah, I like this approach. So OLC says, I'm not gonna be able to avoid that Gigantor, so I'm just gonna run into it. Wow, look at that. How did the Buster actually went into the wrong direction? So OLC trying to get the OTG pick up here, not enough. Then going into the beach ball, and far enough to be able to disjoint that 5P reversal from Crazy Weed. OLC. Wait, did I miscount again? No way. Is it my keyboard? Because I get those double taps so often, and then I'm like, damn, did I get a double tap and then backpedal on the points? Is it 6-1? Is it 6-1? I thought I was pretty precise this time. I think it's 6-1 still, because the opponent or like the players are still mounting the cabinet and looking to go again. Yeah, just a little breather here. Yeah. The response from the audience comes as well. 6-1 is the position here. OLC with a massive lead going into this, and a massive cross-up as well. I think I saw the startup of Buster, but this time OLC will be able to grab that fast enough. Ooh, the tail end of the armor. However, you can combine it with the red RC if you ever collide with the armor, and they are in a position where they can't recover instantly. Red RC is a strike. Both players are swinging really wide here. Instant air dash doesn't quite true punish, but still puts OLC in that really favorable situation where you're jumping in with a lot of plus frames, ready to strike throw. As May players love to do it. Oh, okay. Deems that was not a position where you could pick up the combo perfectly, but we pick up the next one, the even bigger one. Gambling with the armor, it pays off. And here comes the setup. Are we gonna run into it? Tries to swing into it. However, I guess 5 heavy has a decent hitbox. 1 hit confirmed. Third strike? The big fish ends up whiffing though. OLC with the set point gets it with the double whammy. Send the beach ball, send the 5 heavy. Don't let them press anything. If they do, this should be a combination with enough explosive damage to take out the opponent, and OLC does. But this time, it was. I think this is one of those times where it's a 7-1, but a lot of the rounds were super close. It's like, I guess it kind of goes with it kind of comes with the territory when you have like super hard-hitting characters, and you can basically argue that if one of the characters gets a big hit here, they're just gonna win straight up. So it's always like one interaction away from swinging to either player's favor. But this time it is gonna swing in OLC's favor very decisively in terms of the score. And we're heading into the next matchup. This will be the first of our Testament matches of the week, and I am not gonna hide my enthusiasm. I've been looking for both of these Testament matches. We're going in with the Jetstream Mark versus Vlink match first. Both players coming in with their sub characters, and along the past couple of weeks, we've had a lot of Twitter footage. Mark posting some interesting qualities of these Testament characters, utilizing stuff like, you know, the low profiling qualities of Testament's 2K, interesting stuff like that. So it remains to be seen how a player like Mark, who comes from a slightly more offensive, more aggressive school of characters in the form of that Nagoriyuki, how would a Nagoriyuki player transition into a very completely different kind of archetype that is Testament here? So as I was saying earlier, Vlink did ponder between a couple of different characters, eventually landing in the whatchamacallit, choosing to go in with Elfelt. I think this was initially scheduled to play as Testament versus Asuka, which would have definitely been... Oh, let me get the match footage in just in the nick of time. Saved! A couple of frames before it goes online. But yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting no matter which combination of characters they would go in with. First hit, you double red Wild Assault conversion, forcing the opponent into the corner, and now with a ricochet and a 6-speed, there is a couple of different things that are really strong for this Testament character. We have 2K, we have 6-speed, and we have Grave Reaper. Those three things, some of my favorite strong things that Testament has to offer. Look at this, even in the face of the ricochet coming back. If that ricochet hits you, basically Elfelt is gonna fall straight into the close slash, get a massive combo, and you're gonna be hurting. But trust in your anti-air, trust in the stuff that is really strong for your character. Right, forcing the stain pop here. Vlink breaking herself out of the corner pressure. However, instant air dash jump heavy. One of the best instant air dashes and one of the best air normals to combine with it as well. I think that's like the fourth really great thing for Testament. Instant air dash jump heavy, such a great combination. And then being able to go into jump D afterwards for a very ambiguous high-low situation is like, you'd be like, when you think about it, Testament has just so many strong tools that you kind of ponder, isn't this character just top tier? But surprisingly, they just aren't. It's just a lot of tools that work really well in vacuum. But I think the more common problem for Testament is that, like, even if you get a single hit, it's not gonna amount to much in the grand scheme of your game plan, which is kind of like a... We talk about the two-step game plan. Testament is even worse than that, I think. Testament is like almost a three-step game plan. Because think about it, you have to throw two fireballs. First the Grave Reaper, this, then the Crow has to hit, and then you have to strike your opponent. It's a three-step game plan, is it not? Testament has to work so much to get the cash out. But now speaking of... Oh no! Interrupts Blink's pressure here. But Vlink interrupts back with the 5B. Nice anti-air combo into a setup. We get the throw. Do we get the cash out? Not yet. Deeming that it's not yet time. It would not kill the opponent. We're just gonna flow into the Rekka. Ooh, what happened there? Maybe... Wait, where'd the bird go? The marker was behind Mark. So the Crow goes into a completely different kind of direction, and here's the ricochet shot. Here's how it would look when the perfect scenario occurs for the Elfelt player. Going for it again. There's a hit. Didn't go with the close slash though, went with 2S. I think it's slightly slower than close slash. But once again, from the anti-air 5B, we go into the mixer, finds an overhead Rekka. Ah, that was a fake, that was a frame kill. Frame kills with the 2S and then hits with the big fat counter hit close slash. Ooh, I love that. That was an IBFD, wasn't it, from Mark? So we'll be able to push Blink far enough away. Reversal super hits home, but there's quite a lot of hits, or rather HP, that we have to drill through. As Mark here, 2S catches the backdash. And with that really nice flashy conversion, adds a possession there at the end just for good measure. Which is one way to sort of make sure that if you wall stick them with a multi-hitter, or if you wall stick them with something that has a lot of recovery, you can kind of skip past that recovery by using one of your special moves. If it's like a special move that doesn't produce strikes. Speaking of strikes here, good blocks on the... Oh, predicts that S-Rekka reset here with the use of Calamity 1, and now Calamity definitely strikes Blink. Here comes a hard read on the burst from Mark. Won't be able to anti-air before Blink goes grounded there after the ricochet. It's still anybody's game, but so far the advantage is definitely on Blink's side. Hop another S reset, gets caught. I think Mark was trying to backdash there or jump out. We never know. But the fact of the matter is Blink will be able to even it out 1-1. And the grand matchup between the Spaniards is on. I think they played in earlier Bounty Hunters edition with their mains, did they not? Which ended up being surprisingly even. Blink made it extremely competitive when, like, most people would have been like, yeah, Mark is just gonna take it with the mains. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But it was surprisingly tight. And now, all of that, ooh, look at that! Snatch out of the sky despite the RC. We go into tap 5D, cashing out. Blink says, no, not ready to die just yet. Couple of shots, all of those shots end up landing. It's an interesting conundrum because we are, like, Testament is a character who arguably has a better fireball. I think if Elfold uses her ground fireball and Mark goes for a Grave Reaper as well, I think the Grave Reaper is gonna just triumph over the incoming shot, depending on the timing, of course. Nice. We'll be able to snatch Blink out of the sky before the ricochet comes online. Jump slash into. We can cash out here. Ah, okay. Oh, I think Mark went for a really slow starter there, too heavy on the round start, whereas Blink was like, no stops, full pressure. Drifting forward, do we get into a position? That was a potentially missed air throw here. Producing a jump D was probably not what Mark wanted. 50 meter ready to go YRC, or we could just break it. Find the gap, use Calamity 1. Even though that is one of the slowest starting reversals in the game, don't matter. If you know the gap is coming, if you know that the opponent is canceling something with a lot of recovery or something with a lot of startup, go for it. It's valid. Again, I love this, because Mark has been going for those hard reads burst baits quite a bit. This time, Blink not only holding onto the burst, but also just 5B anti-airing Mark out of that hard bait. Yeah, I like that. I think that's gonna be that's sort of gonna be the like power level difference between these fireballs. Because the first part of Grave Reaper kinda deletes other projectiles, and in the next batch it's actually gonna lose its hurt box. So the Grave Reaper hurt box that is currently extended in this version, ooh, nice into a close slash. Unfortunately for Mark, the wall had already taken a lot of damage, so won't be able to cash out too big. But now 100 meter, we can do a lot. 6B into, that's gonna introduce a lot of gravity, but it does not end up mattering when the opponent is so close to death. Now Blink, full burst resources. Mark uses the last of theirs here. Tries to go for a cross-up jump K. No, sir. We're gonna anti-air that into a basic ABC Rekka, RC, and the wall break. The Mark really close to that 50 meter mark. Has one stack of orange Wild Assault as well, although even though Testament is kind of good at using that, because they have a really good far slash. I think you would usually not consider a Testament as like a premium Orange Wild Assault user, right? It is still like it's so weird for Testament because it kind of helps you, but it does not play into your victory condition a lot of the time. Nice! Perfect time on this jump this time, evading the incoming projectile and aligning yourself perfectly with the opponent who's still recovering out of their air fireball. Ooh, what is this? Maybe Mark felt like they're... Or is it the classic like FRC jump D that Mark was trying to go for there? Maybe? And missed the timing. Overhead Rekka, doubles it up again! We have 50 meter, double it up, triple! However, Mark backdashing out of there and anti-airing with a 5K of all buttons. Give up the pressure from below. Now what are we gonna go for? Checks what the opponent is doing. The fireballs collide, the strikes collide as well, but Vlink can't afford to trade anymore. Caught the grenade, caught the backdash. What now? We have meter, have to spend it. We have 0 health to play with. Another reset. Is it enough? We built the 50. Perfect place for Vlink. Was in a situation where they can't afford to let Mark play anymore, and they did just enough S-Rekka resets there that she was able to build enough meter. Oh, but the deflect shield, that's a very bad position for a deflect shield for. You can only push your opponent back. You will never be pushed back yourself. So if your opponent is against the corner, it's not gonna do anything. But let's see if Mark still has a... Oh, the coming down part! Able to get the throw, and now Mark with the 50 meter, sliding into a guaranteed stain setup. Close slash is plus, and we go for another throw. And then, the very delayed Gold RC going under with Bridal Express, and then swinging with that 5 heavy. And I think Mark was in a position that they had already committed to an air button, but the air button was going to the wrong direction, so completely open to punishment from Vlink that time. Yeah, again, that same situation, 5 heavy. Vlink finding a lot of mileage with that move so far. It is basically Elfeld's furthest reaching normal. Usually a little tricky to use against characters such as Testament. Ooh, the tail end of the close slash is gonna get punished there by Calamity once again. Nice. Time on the air throw. Perfect. I think you could argue because Elfeld goes into recovery immediately after the fireball and recovers for a very long time, you could go for an air-to-air, but I think the more comfortable and the more easy to perform option is the air throw there that Mark has been doing. Nice dash momentum jump in. Another thing that you can definitely do against the fireballs. It's so interesting because, like, you could... Oh, but here we go! 5 heavy! Big counter hit against the... I think that was a Grave Reaper incoming. Available to characters who have far-reaching normals or special moves. So far, in this patch, you can be poked out of the Grave Reaper starter, or startup rather. Tried to swing there. However, the Hungry Hippos are coming, waiting for the burst, which is never to come. I think this is an okay place for a hard bait for Mark, because like, even if the opponent doesn't burst, they're gonna get grounded. And then, it's another really tough RPS for them. Are they gonna go for like a wake up gold burst? Or are they gonna just take your close slash pressure afterwards? Right, the double jump. Gets a really nice angle for the ricochet shot. Straight into the close slash of Mark's. Mark doesn't end up confirming too big. Forcing the stain here. Pop it. Keep it alive. Mark, I think, yeah, was hoping to get to that 50 meters so that they can use the overhead, what's that called? Overhead... Not Exa Beast. Come on, QK. It's always the same moves that you forget the names of. Anyway, the overhead and then spent the 50 meter there. Instant air dash ends up whipping. Just barely. Oh, that's a big counter hit. We can go for all sorts of conversions here. Instead of going for the easy mode Rekka conversion, Vlink actually hit confirms into the big damage route. And a whip punish here on a 5 heavy of all buttons. Arbiter sign working as an anti-air. Sure, we'll take it. Doesn't have the 50 meter, unfortunately, to go for the hard knockdown. And now Vlink has so many resources. This could be bad for Mark. Oh, I like the RC! So Mark went for the air throw again, but this time Vlink on the same layer knows that Mark has been doing that every single time, so goes for a fast RC and then pokes before Mark gets to the distance to get the throw. Coming down with a big counter hit. 1, 2, 3. Next hit could be the death of Mark here. He's gonna be able to build to 50 meter. Sorry, 50 burst. No cash out with the super. What's gonna happen? Oh, that's too heavy. It's gonna be beaten by the Binberry. Double jump, close slash works as an anti-air, but now Mark is in a really difficult situation and won't be able to RPS this. This is such a classic situation in Guilty Gear Strive. You are in the air, and opponent is below you, spending RC, slowing down time, and you know there is no way out of that air throw. All you can do is guess, am I gonna try to break the throw? Or am I gonna not try to break the throw? If you break it, cool. If they throw, you break out of it. If they strike though, then you're dead. Alright, 1, 2, 3, guaranteeing the wall break. Lots of resources to defend here for Mark. Oh, nice whip punish. This will swing the momentum. Unless I spoke too soon. Mark missing the combo, getting the 6p interruption between the Wreckers though. Swinging with that far slash. One of the farthest reaching far slashes in the game. Only, wait, huh? I thought Mark was whipping that 2p there. Arbiter sign, jumps out of it. Ooh, not only jumping out of it, but shooting a ricochet shot. This could still be Blink's game. No, not quite. The far-reaching far slash tagging out of the recovery of that Rekka. Ooh, big one. 2 heavy counter hits. Here we go. Yep, Vlink did this big combo earlier. We're not doing baby combos. We're doing the maximum conversions, baby! 1, 2, 3. 100 meter. Has to burst, probably. Ooh, Vlink ready to bait it out. But the burst never comes. This is actually safe play for Mark. He kind of knew that that round was over after that big conversion. And using the burst here would have been surely the losing play. Now instead we can burst Vlink into the corner. However, she fights her way out of there. Pounce forward using that Bridal Express or whatever the heck that's called in Guilty Gear Strive. Bridal Express in my heart, baby. There we go with the massive good hitbox of the Upgrade Reaper. Mark has used that tool surprisingly little. The ricochet shot! Hello, and that's gonna be a nail on the coffin. Vlink moving forward with a 2 games of lead here. Is this where the pendulum swing? This is where Vlink will exert her dominance over perhaps the player who would be so very hard to beat on their mains. Nice interception with a 2k there. Immediate YRC from Vlink. Put the Testament back into the blender again. That frame kill gets me every time too. Drifting forward, yeah, going under. Even if you're kind of late there, the 2k, the DLC 2k should be able to beat that very high profile 5D. Alright, waiting for the teleport to go off. YRC plus frame mixing with the bridal, not bridal, sorry, the Pineberry, the grenade. And that throw is gonna be enough. Important one here for Mark to break the momentum of Vlink here. Oh, but that's a big counter hit. And Mark is nowhere close to a burst here. Miss on the combo though. Who completely baits the gold burst. And because that's gold, it's rather easy to punish on whiff. We go with the big combos. Fixing her mistake. Oh, I spoke too soon. Missing the bomb belt super there. Getting a 5k. Losing a big advantage, but we are still in a life advantage. Look at that bar slash. I think catching the start of Blink's too heavy there. Not the most low profiling move. It looks like it would low profile a lot. Ooh, that's a good trade initially for Vlink. However, the follow-up situation does not go in her way. The reason why I usually say that it's really great to trade into Stain is because it makes the Stain not pop. But of course, if you are greedy and you're actively always swinging against you know, Testament when you have Stain on you. I think in the long run that ends up being not, you know, favorable situation for you. Nice footsies there. I think I ended up beating Testament's 2k with a far slash from Elfeld, which is still a surprisingly far-reaching normal, even though it's not quite 5 heavy. Again, good interception here. Air throw against a ricochet shot, and now we're transitioning into Testament pressure. Apply Stain on the wall break. Oh, and that's gonna go into a full conversion. Oh, misses it. Is there still a comeback? No, 6p on the way down. Depending on the timing, it kind of looks like if you go for the 6p, it's so close to being delayed enough so that the ricochet shot could shoot you in the back. But I mean, Testament 6p is one of the furthest reaching in the game. 5 heavy. Ooh, no conversion. I think that is a slightly rare type of conversion. I don't even know what Testament converts out of that in the corner either. God, that super is so slow! It would have reached there. I think it would have reached there, but the startup was just way too slow. The RPS with possession. Mark hasn't been using the teleport too much, but now using it to its full effect against Fireball. 6p to 5 heavy, okay. Okay, and then waiting at the perfect spacing. Look at this. Mark knows this as a senior player. Knows if you stand in the right place and press the right buttons. I would dare say was probably even waiting for that Bridal Express there.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society.
It's a little dangerous if you are too close and you get hit there. It's the sweet spot for Elfeld, right? Like if you block the Bridal Express at that point, it's gonna be slightly plus and probably like really nasty if you take it as a counter hit. But hey, when you know you're in the right place at the right time, nothing else matters. Double backdash, able to get out of the Rekka sequence initially, but then the thing is, even on whiff, you can always go for another Rekka. It's a very special kind of special sequence in that sense. And then meeting with the Bridal Express once again. Smack dab into the opponent, especially if you have 50 meter. It can work as a kind of like a makeshift, whatchamacallit, Mappa Hunch RC, or I guess Mr. Kisk also has the classic Stun Dipper RC that people like so much. Right, double hitting Fireball is gonna break the wall here, but I mean Mark didn't have. Oh, wait a second, hitting from the other side as well. I thought that Mark had crossed up there successfully, but now it's actually Vlink. There we go, there's the K super. We got the bomb belt, and now you're in a really bad situation. Bats waiting for the burst, never to come. Here's the super, and then fast RC into close slash. Vlink didn't even have time to burst there, but arguably as well wouldn't have bursted. The safest play here, starting with a far slash. The Bineberry will be able to hop. Oh my god. Hard bait. Blink doesn't bite. Blinking fast. Presses a button, and that's a counter hit. We can get a couple of extra reps of the Rekkas here. Push. Mark to the corner. Another Rekka. Another reset. The S Rekka, the one where she hops on that gun, is always a reset. Can always be interrupted as long as the previous Rekka was blocked. Switching position, and there we go. Deep dash into 2S, no conversion. Jetstream Mark still with the perfect position. Look at that, the spacing once again. Standing in the perfect place. Overhead. Won't be able to get the hit confirmed. Plus frames. Oh, that's a big one. That should spell doom for Blink in this game. And again, Mark was 2 games down just a while ago. And then 3 straight wins into a commanding leading position. Not too commanding, because I mean, Blink only needs 2 games here, right? It's not too far. But now it feels like this universe looks much more comfortable for Mark than the one we were 5 minutes ago. Yeah, we'll be able to get another reset and another one, and then usually it's like if you get a couple of resets in, that will put you at a 50 tension, and then you can just dial into the heavy Rekka as well and just completely reset the situation. Caught the backdash there with the 2 heavy into a combo, and again the frame kill into a fat close slash starter. Yeah, Blink doesn't want to let this matchup slide through her finger just yet. Hard bait. But once again, I think Vlink hasn't taken a single one of those baits yet, has she? 6P interrupts. I think the 5 heavy here. Ooh, really close to taking the ricochet in the back, but Mark, just at the perfect moment, arrives into the striking distance, breaks the wall. Vlink very low health, but is still up around, so no matter what happens here, should be still pretty okay. Going to the OTG setup. Mark breaking the throw. Ooh, from 6P. Whoa, 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 whoa. Does 6P actually go into the orange Wild Assault conversion comfortably? Because the problem is that universally all 6Ps have a lot of gravity and proration. Ooh, nice catch there on the landing recovery. Teleport into 2K once again. Deflect shield. Tried to whiff punish with a far slash on the follow-up situation, but Vlink a little too far. Elfeld's far slash too stubby into the loop. Getting out of it, but this is a set point position for Mark. And with the frame advantage, and with the life advantage, all advantages, we decided to check Vlink's reaction on the 21 frame reaction check. And Vlink does not pass it. And it was a pretty safe situation for Mark as well, because had like around 75 meters, so even if that 5D is blocked, we're just gonna go into the RC and pressure more. Damn, really great comeback though. Vlink had the upper edge there for a moment, but then the samurai spirit, perhaps drawing from Nagoriyuki, able to flip it around, go not only 3 straight wins, but 4 straight wins was kind of like the last games there. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Really good showcase of even if you get carried away, or even if you get sucked into sort of the momentum that is Elfeld's Rekka pressure, I think most of the time, like, Mark didn't have a lot of like successful RPSs out of that Rekka sequence, right? It was like 1 or 2 Calamity once, and then trading into S-Rekka like once, and that was kind of it. But still, like, the game is played at neutral so much that even if you lose in those situations where she gets to push the Rekka pressure, it's fine. If you perform well enough at neutral, it's fine. It's a numbers game. How often can you perform these feats? Or rather, how consistently can you perform these feats? If you perform them consistently enough at neutral, then it's fine. You are forgiven, even if you don't defend successfully against the vortex offense of the opponents. Anyway, moving on to the next matchup here, we got Maria swinging that bloody sword once again with Nagoriyuki. And it's gonna be Ina with Bridget once again. I think I have a false image in my head that we play Nago versus Bridget a lot. Or maybe we do. It's just that I think Maria has not played this matchup in a very, very long time, in Bounty Hunters at least. The dynamic, of course, is gonna be the classic, you know, the hard-hitting road roller that is Maria's Nagoriyuki versus the much softer, lighter-hitting, more Oki-oriented character. I mean, Bridget is capable of doing keep away. Bridget is capable of doing neutral. Bridget is capable of doing pretty decent pressure. Pressure that lasts for a very long time. But one thing that she is not known for is her combo damage. So much more of a control type of character in Guilty Gear Strive. So then the question is, will Ina be able to perform consistently enough at neutral to keep away the engaging menace? The problem is the round starts at Nago being at low blood, basically 0 blood, and sometimes we say that, you know, having blood available is even more important than having a lot of meter. That's kind of, in a way, you can substitute tension for blood as Nago Ryuki. You can extend your pressure, you can try to skip neutral, you can burn it for better conversions than many other characters will be able to have access to. But when you run out of that resource, that's when it gets a little tricky. That's when you lose your mobility options, and you will be able to you can be controlled against characters who have strong keep away, such as our little Bridget here. Ooh, speaking of those pressure extensions, waiting for just enough frames and then unleashing the extra frame trap there at the end with the use of F-Shiki straight into the first RPS interruption, and we're going for the fancy stuff. And most importantly, if you go for those F-Shiki setups, I think the most important thing is completing your combo and flowing into the next setup, because those are usually not the most damaging ones and don't necessarily offer you the best Oki. Oh, Maria in the danger zone with a lot of special moves there. I think unless Maria manages to get that bite here, it's gonna be Jober. Starting with a DP, burning a lot of blood into a lot of damage as well. The last hit is the biggest one. I kind of like that setup that takes you barely into the level 3 territory, which gives you access to your most powerful heavy buttons. Uh-oh, is she gonna pop? More importantly, does Ina notice? Look at this chip damage. Ina can't take another one of those, or rather can't take one, because there is never a chip damage kill before the opponent is at 1 hit point. That ends up not mattering. Maria utilizes the best advantage that Nago has, the one that we were talking about, the full blood gauge at the start of the round. Even characters that are like relatively good at controlling the neutral, they gotta be afraid. They gotta be scared of Nago Ryuki's neutral skipping power when he has blood left to spend. But now, nice shimmy. We'll be able to call the usual throw out. You see Nago Ryuki players using that throw quite a bit, not only because it's like one of the only things that you can do at those close distances, because, you know, Nago's buttons are much better at close mid-range, like from the 5K range, but also because, you know, it just has a little bit of extra reach, just like Potemkin's throw. Basically a grappler throw that. Ooh, Maria ends up actually clearing the F-Shiki here, and then avoid the yo-yo toss into Clone Fukyo. Put the opponent in the corner, and as long as they block those two heavies in the air, massive damage inbound. Ooh, delayed a little too long there. For Ina went for a very fast interruption there, trying to interrupt the Hukyo. Spending the 50 meter, guaranteeing the pressure. We still have the yo-yo in there. Use it again, however, there's the RPS spot. After the yo-yo on block. Swinging the 6P, I think the usual responses that Bridget players would like to play after the yo-yo toss are kind of high profile, so RPSing with that 5P is a very relevant option. But if you get too predictable with it, of course, you know, Bridget players will start going low next and catching you that way. 1-1. Also, howdy Raiders from Patriarch Panda stream. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully Panda has this, like, despite the really tough results that Panda has had on Bounty Hunters so far, I hope both Panda and the viewers have enjoyed the hustle and the experience, and definitely hoping to see Panda in a more even matchup in the future. You can all blame the the matchmaking committee, aka me. Ooh, big counter hit there. Putting Maria into the corner. Here's the first command grab. Set up the yo-yo, and now Maria is in a really tough position. No blood open. Deflect shield, but it does not end up getting any value. Was kind of risky bet there for Maria. It's kind of not really a hero burst kind of thing, but health hero burst. Because when you're in a situation where you're kind of expected to lose the round, using deflect shield could get you value, but if it doesn't, then yeah. From the throw, mixing up again. The low initially lands, but doubles it up with more pressure. Won't be quite able to get to that 50 meter. And Maria has one bar open potentially for a Beyblade. Clone Fukio no longer an option. Going into the level 3 territory. This is basically where Ina gets to control the... Oh, tried to 5B! Wait, is that not a good option? I thought that's the fastest button that you could produce as Nagoriyuki, but it just ends up, maybe it was too late. Maybe it was just too late there. I mean, there is a faster option. Oh, but hold that thought. We go into, maybe we're wondering, worrying about the burst there, going for a hard bait. Transitioning into Bloodsucking Universe. This is where the party time starts. We'll be able to go into the super. There are so many modifiers here favoring Maria, but it does not matter because this actually kills. Massive damage of that Naga super and the wall break. Was there a little bit of a stutter there? I was wondering, was that the first interaction for Maria, was that a burst bait or... Ooh, nice, clearing the F-Shiki once again. I think Maria is really conscious of, you know, when Bridget players can go for the nasty overhead setup. This should be... Is this a safe one? No. Catching on the landing recovery. Maria is gonna throw Ina into the corner with blood flowing in. So the more that... Oh, that was initially really good, pushing Maria away with the FD, but then the far-reaching normals. You gotta be really fast on your whiff punish attempts. If you make the opponent miss their buttons by using FD, you gotta be so ready to press that button if you want that whiff punish. I believe we're gonna go into a stage swap here. For that is one of the newer DLC stages, and flashy as it is, it can cause... it has a lot of stuff going in there, so can maybe cause disorientation or even lag to machines that are not the most powerful up-to-date ones. But now from a 2-2 position, we're fighting onwards. Maria, the hard-hitting character. Ina, the more control-oriented character, or player? I guess Bridget should say. Right, setting up the -2. Sliding out of there. But even like, it's... Ooh, still missing the 5K pick up by a couple of pixels. Going back in there. Maybe waiting for the burst. There we go. Was waiting for it for so long. I counted like 1, 2, maybe even 3 hard baits there. Because like there were really like extended looking pauses there in Maria's pressure that were clearly intended to, you know, bait out something. Be it DP, be it burst. Ooh, switching position with a meager cost of 1, or rather 0.6 blood bar. None of those blood bars are gonna make any difference here. DP, first one coming out for Ina of the set. At a perfect opportune moment, however, I think this is death. No, it doesn't stick. That last 6 heavy would have taken Ina down to 1 hit point, so makes sense that was going for a YRC there, and from that YRC, what a shift of momentum. This is a hard knockdown. Maria has a lot of options here. Gotta be very careful. Safe jump works out into a low. And, oh, I think there was some sort of weird delay there. Looking like as if Ina missed a button in that sequence. I mean, it kind of looked like the kind of sequence that Maria played earlier, but I think Maria didn't have burst yet, so wouldn't have made a lot of sense. Maybe a YRC bait? Was another successful DP? Maria is so close to that pop. So maximum damage available here for Ina, as well as, you know, it's gonna be very hard for Maria to contest. Switching sides, Maria sees the opportunity, spend burst, put them in the corner. And this is a really good position for Nago players. That's gonna be a pop, trying to set it up. Or rather, I think Maria tried to finish Ina there instead. But unfortunately, the OTG just not dealing quite enough damage. And now, mask on, all that blood is available. Footsie's money, look at that! Was that 2D from Bridget beating what button? It is so dangerous to play footsies against a Nagoriyuki who's just committed to burning blood, especially after that mask on. Full fresh blood bar available. But I mean, sometimes you gotta take those dangerous bets, as Ina does here, takes the bet. Gambles with the DP, but unfortunately, the disjoint frames of that 5 heavy, way too far to hit. Yo-yo has been set. Nice, look at that. Look at Maria's position. So notice that the yo-yo, the passive yo-yo has been set. The yo-yo set has been set. It's gonna come back. So what Maria did, backwalked outside of that, and as soon as it triggered, going with the White Wild Assault. If Bridget is gonna come at you, they're gonna get caught in that. Second hit overhead into the low. Yep. With the blood-sucking universe buff active as well, of course you're gonna chain into those special moves and potentially go into the samurai mix-up. Now Maria with a fast burst of momentum. How is Ina gonna battle that? Like, quick switches in momentum against a character who's very snowbally, very fast at winning rounds. I mean, best Nago rounds are something like 10 seconds. Those are like kind of common if you get counter hit at round start by DP. You gotta be patient. You gotta, I think, caught the jump start up there. The 2 heavy. The thing is, if that 2 heavy whiffs on you, if you're crouching, it's gonna be basically 1 second in recovery animation for Nagoriyuki. All that blood is back. We have options. Oh, never mind. We don't have options because I guess we ended up burning so much blood after that. All right, drift forward, baits the DP, bam! Close slash 6 heavy. So much damage inbound. Even if the opponent blocks that, your level 3 close slash, ooh, alright, interrupting the double Fukio forward with a DP. And now let's see how we're gonna mix with the very basic overhead setup. Jump D finds its mark, and then moving to the wall, getting loop the loop into a hard knockdown and safe jump. Yeah, very basic Bridget winning win pattern. Maria manages to get out of that safe jump though with the use of backdash. Double Fukio forward will be checked by Ina. And now, what's the escape? Instead of throwing the yo-yo toss, using the blue wild assault to guarantee that it's not gonna be interrupted. Ooh, slides straight into the 2K. But Ina still has a very massive life lead here. And Maria can only afford to use just a couple of special moves. With this RC, we'll be able to draw back a lot of really important blood. That was a 6 heavy, that was a 5 heavy, so Maria should be able to do a couple of special moves here. Goes into it immediately. I think it was the overhead portion of the second hit that ends up catching Ina. Look at that, perfect timing on the jump. I think jumps overall are really important against Nagoriyuki, especially as a neutral-oriented character, because you gotta milk that blood out of Nagoriyuki somehow to start out with. Being able to consistently put Nagoriyuki at level 3 without losing all of your life, probably the win condition of all zoners. But now, Ina is very low life, and Maria can basically pick any conversion choice that she wants. The momentum hasn't been stopping. Maria at 6 points, Ina at 2. How do we disrupt the wave? Again, the very delayed Beyblade there. Catching as a frame trap. 2 heavy into 5 heavy. Lots of damage. However, back throw. Tried to go for a big momentum, or rather aggressive burst in order to try to keep Maria in the corner. Very understandable, but Maria was already on the same Yomi layer. Nice whiff punish there, backing out at round start position. Basically, any character will be able to walk out of it if Nagoriki goes DP, whiff into immediate DP. Of course, the second hit of the DP, nice block on the F-Shiki there. And then the interruption against the yo-yo toss. Slice him, dice him. Maria, set point, has all the advantages. The blood is gonna come back. We're kind of still in a high blood situation. The blue RC guarantees that Ina gets to press buttons first. Spend the burst resources now, because maybe you don't get to spend them later. Would Maria burst? Immediately is the answer. One special is available here, so Beyblade threat. Oh, but the perfect timing, look at that! The rolling movement over Beyblade. Ina is still in it. And the burst is imminent. Get the throw. OTG into one more hit. Into an air buster. Holy, what a comeback. Ina does not give up. Both players in this very decisive round, starting with 50 burst resources. Jump backwards, no anti-air. Super jump forward. Here starts Maria's pressure. Caught with a very close range clone. And now... Ooh, interesting. The 5 heavy actually ends up countering the DP1 into DP2. I don't think I've ever seen that interaction before. I wonder if you go as... Ooh, is this a safe jump? It could be. Ooh, Maria thought that it was not gonna be, so save herself. The DP catches, had to burst. Yeah, that had to happen. But from the fully charged White Wild Assault, if that rings as a counter hit, it doesn't even need to hit as a counter hit. As long as it's charged, it's gonna give you a combo. Maria goes into a 6 heavy and takes the set 7-2. Yeah, after the warm-up period of that match, Maria was just on fire. Very on brand for her. Once you get sort of sucked in the momentum of Maria, it's really hard to break out. It's very common for, you know, many Nagoriyuki matchups. It is a character with, you know, just a lot of inbuilt momentum, a lot of inbuilt snowball in it. And it's really hard to break out if you don't have a successful start to the round. Even to the set, because like, it's crazy to say that the games are played in vacuum. No, not at all. They are all interconnected. Your emotional state, the RPS options that you play, how you flow, it's all tied together. All right, next up, we're gonna have the other Testament matchup of the week. The first time we get to see this guy, Badoor Testament. It's been a long time coming, but we finally have it. I think we have spades already. Let's get Badoor in the lobby too. Right, so in terms of, if we're strictly looking at like rating services such as the Puddle Farm, Badoor has always been at the very top of the leaderboards. Not just that, but any old fool could recognize that Badoor has been one of the pioneers of this character, Testament, ever since their release on Guilty Gear Strive. Badoor has always been at the top of the game. And it's been so many, how many years? It's been more than a year. Has it been 2 already? No way. Like 1.5 around since Testament released? Something like that. And now finally, we get to see the man himself. And you know what better, from the Finnish biased point of view, what better match could it be than against one of our fanciest, one of our most flashiest, one of the most entertaining players that we could have from Finland, YaBoiSpades. So to sort of recall what this matchup brings, Anji's really good at fighting against characters, or not necessarily really good at, but really good at RPSing. Not necessarily super strong, but really good at RPSing characters who try to strike at you from very far away. Because technically, whenever you dance into a strike, that should be a punish. That should be at least some sort of hard knockdown for you through Midare. When you're fighting against a zoner that utilizes fireballs though, you are not guaranteed that when you hit your dance that you're gonna have an upper edge. If you dance into a Grave Reaper, if you dance into a Crow, depending on the state of Testament currently, you might actually get guaranteed punished, or at least forced to block more pressure, or allowing the zoner to start their pressure. But Testament is a zoner that allows the opponent to interact with their offense quite a bit. So whenever you land a Grave Reaper at neutral, it certainly does not guarantee that you get the Crow as well and get the Stain. You have to still RPS against it, and there we go! Dancing the Far Slash! That Far Slash is such a strong button, and Testament would like to press that quite a bit, especially like Far Slash into Grave Reaper is one possible way of, you know, getting the initial fireball out. But that can definitely be danced through like that into Close Slash, and this is a lot of damage. I think the wall wasn't too damaged already. However, YaBoiSpades goes into a rather early super here, guaranteeing the wall break. Checking if Badoor maybe wants to try to do something cute, like maybe wake up with a Calamity 1. Ooh, nice backlash timing. Ooh, there we go! Successful dance against the Crow. And I think because that was at such early stage of the Crow, there might have actually been plus frames for YaBoiSpades. Or canceling into Midare, which is, I think Midare is invulnerable completely. Is it? I think it is, right? So Testament shouldn't be able to press too many buttons there unless they go for like super. It is? Yeah, I thought as much. I mean, I didn't know for sure, but based on my experience in this fighting game, it kind of feels like it is. Alright, with a big conversion here. Won't be able to get the heart knockdown. So this is kind of looking good for Badoor at the moment. Downwards. Ooh, teleports under! That's gonna be a guaranteed punish. No way to break out of that because Ko is still in motion. We are dancing back and forth. Big hit will be able to nullify the curse state. But here we go from the air to air. A nice conversion there for Badoor. Those air buttons are not just great for jumping in for Testament. Ooh, weird punish there on the too heavy. Too heavy, of course. You know, if you think that Anji is gonna go for a more aggressive option, like dashing at you, pressing Far Slash, or just going for like a far range Hujin, that too heavy is probably one of the best disjointed buttons for Testament. This time though, with the instant air backdash jump slash, defending your space. Oh no, is he gonna reach? Both players trying to spend all of their resources. No, the Stain! Wait, no, the Stain, I think the Stain actually expired from that throw break, right? I think. It's sometimes a little ambiguous because like when the stain expires, the animation expires a little later than the visual stimulus. So sometimes you'll be like, all right, I should be getting a stain pop from this, but it actually has expired. And I think that's going to be remedied in the next patch when they're increasing the time. Ooh, that was a very high. Was that a super jump air dash? I think so, because like the neutral Kuro should be able to catch most instant air dashes from many characters. Oh, Spades ready to gamble with Kato who gets it. Won't be able to get. Oh, nice! With that Kara low follow up there, catches the backdash. So even if you don't get like a clean Oki, you can still RPS for follow-up situations. Now dancing into far slash, try to go for it with a big strike afterwards, making sure. There's the burst still. What immediately from the burst goes for the Kara, what's it called? What's the low follow-up? Not Rin, Rin's the overhead. God, I'm forgetting all the names of these moves. Low Hujin, that's what it is from now on. Get an air throw, set up, into. Ooh, dancing around, a little bit of a backdash shimmy there. Spades is not ready to bite into that though. Ooh, the classic, the Spade sequence. However, Badoor much more concerned about escaping that situation than trying to press their buttons after that Space low follow-up of Huden. Finds the low. He's gonna have to take this wall break with a soft knockdown. Oh, perfect timing there. Is that gonna go into a combo? That's actually a kill combo. Great presence of mind from Badoor. How many Testament players would recognize that you don't wanna revolve, or like you don't wanna flow into a guaranteed curse here, but instead you have the kill potential to just take the round right there. Oh, wheel, yep, getting the guaranteed punish here. I'm not sure if Testament's close slash hits high enough to consistently catch Anji coming down from the core, but from my experience, the air throw is the most consistent answer if you're below Anji afterwards. There's no counterplay, you just get a guaranteed throw punish. Alright, through the wall. Oh, with the overhead. That's a really cool way to start the sequence, because like you need to land a couple of hits before you get into the very important 50-meter threshold while doing your positive bonus looping. So going into a quick mix-up and knocking them down with like a Kararin. Oh, little bit of hiccup there in the connection, but we still fight on. This time close enough that Badoor is confident enough to press that 2K 2D. Plus frames from the up fireball. No, not your turn yet. Coming up with a 2B. Or sorry, the 5B ends up anti-airing Spades from the sky. I think Spades is gonna hold this for now and potentially take this burst back into the next round. Yep, sees the startup of the button. And while drifting forward with the blue RC, will be able to slide under 2K. Plus frames from... Ooh, caught with the low. And that's gonna go into a full conversion. Once again, cash out. Half of Badoor's life gone. We got a lot of meter to defend with YRC. No, caught in the spin frames. So that's gonna give YaBoiSpades a really nice position here. The low follow-up of Fujin misses the combo. Trying to air throw. I understand that saw the visual stimulus of Kuro whiffing and then primed himself for the air throw. However, Spades threw an additional wrench into those plans because I think it was a lot of stuff happened there. I think Spades had probably some sort of a misinput going on there, or maybe some sort of a lag in the executive functionality of the human body, and didn't quite get out what they meant to play. But either way, ended up panning out for Spades big time there. Ooh, that's gonna go into a stain pop. Basically, a Stain Pop is like a mini RC if you want to compare it to something. Calamity 1 will be able to interrupt here. Of course, slightly dangerous tool because it has a lot of startup, so it's not quite as convenient to use as meterless DPs on top of it costing resources as well, of course. Ooh, found the Fujin into. Does that actually have time to comfortably go into a butterfly ulti? Badoor, deep dash out of the corner to S. Starting the sequence. Ooh, nice air-to-air jump D. Getting caught by the Fujin though. And spent both bars of the Orange Wild Assault. That 2K, I think tried to RC drift out of there, but the startup is still too much. Alright, wall break has to take this. Now I would say this position favors Badoor big time. Again, the resources caught with the Kara low. Fireball to the other side, 2 PPP into a mix-up, and Badoor making the executive decision to save that burst there. I could see a universe where many players would still want to play there, but I actually respect the patience of taking the burst into the next round. From the blast frames into a throw, and now 2P, and since that's a counter hit, we'll be able to confirm into much bigger than just like 2P, 6P. Go perfect timing on the fireball once again. Stain Pop will guarantee plus frames too high up. That's gonna be minus on the landing. RPS to throw. Get the stain. Nice combos. Oh! Once again, the burst into Karanagiha. It's so hard to see, and it's so fast as well. It catches you off guard so easily. And now, Badoor, what are we gonna do with that 50 meter? Again, YRC straight into the dancing frames. Luckily, it doesn't get punished this time. The back jump into a jump slash. Is that gonna hit? Perfect punish, perfect timing. That was gonna be a next hit, I think. The timing on the 2K was perfect, but I think the distance just didn't favor Badoor. Didn't get a clean punish there, allowing Spades to regain the momentum and take the round again. Now Spades 2 games up on Badoor very early into this set. Getting a big cash out from that dance into counter hit goal slash. Yep, get the punish. Throw into the right direction as well. Okay, good timing. Oh, the 2 heavy counter hit. Let's see the biggest combo that you could have on Testament. That's unfortunate. The Stain Pop caused the wall stick, and at that point, Badoor had already queued up the 6 heavy, so not getting the hard knockdown there. Still, does not matter. We take that meter into the next round, and with a successful second conversion, got the round. The overhead barely ends up reaching. Plus frames to Machine, and dancing into a throw. Yeah. Oh, interesting. What is this? Oh, still baits the air throw option of Badoor. It's interesting because like your primal lizard plane will clean air throw. Set up into, yep, there's nothing you can do against this Cars. Finds the hit with the 2K. However, too much damage there on the wall already. There we go. And I think Badoor is still on the positive bonus, so no matter what the hit here, it's gonna be super advantageous for Badoor. Beat a throw. If the throw goes through, yes sir. If not, we can PRC option select. Even if we go with a strike, we're gonna have 50 meter there to extend the pressure for a very long time. Yeah. Go immediately into a burst, because that close slash from that mid-screen position probably leads into a wall break, right? That's the fireball. So its positions. It's one of the most important tools in your kit is because you as a Testament player, you're gonna be losing real estate very fast, and sometimes you just don't wanna engage in the striking war, the poking war with the opponent if you don't have Stain out yet. Ooh, but that close slash. In previous situation when Badoor was drifting forward from the round start, BRC was able to get the 2K out, but not this time. There we go with a massive counter hit. Too heavy. Recurse? Oh, I love that! It kind of looks like you drop the combo at the end, but you still get a reset with an additional curse there. Checking the burst. Spade still willing to hold it. Ooh, the Kachol who gets triggers from the lingering fireball that hits Meaty, and Spades goes into the reaction check. Finishes it immediately. Maybe thinking that, I'm not sure, maybe was thinking that Badoor was gonna get the burst back if you try to go for the full sequence. After all, like the finishing strike from that 5D sequence does a lot of damage even if you don't have a combo riding behind it. Or, alternatively, maybe Spades just didn't know the 5D combo. Just press 2 buttons after each other and get the cash out. That's possible too. I mean, I don't know my 5D combos either, because I never use that button. Maybe against Nagoryuki once in a blue moon when it pops. Here we go. Big conversion. This time, instead of going for the full conversion, just, I think because of the range, just chose to set up Stain safely. Punish on the landing frames, curse, plus frames, even after the Arbiter sign. Remember, normal Arbiter sign on block is going to be minus, but if it's combined with a Stain, it's going to be quite plus, allowing Testament to have the first say in the next neutral interaction. Trying to wait patiently. Nice! Blocks the overhead. Immediate aggressive burst from YaBoiSpades, wanting to put Badoor in the corner. But again, I think Spades was hoping to get into that 50 meter in order to extend the pressure, but made a small miscalculation. So the follow-up was punished once again, and here comes a big cash out. Not playing with the proration or the gravity, just going straight into Nostrovia. And now, Stained. Ooh, dancing back and forth, will be able to cancel the Stain. Shin, it's a missing! Both players going for the throw. Spade still immediately dancing, throwing. And then the low follow-up is what ends up opening up Badoor. That was a tough situation because I think Spades would have followed that up anyway with an RC, just like this. Deflect shield, RC it again, yeah. The deflect shield ends up being completely nullified if you RC because you recover immediately and can go for more. Ah, I missed the air throw. There we go, got it the second time. That's a misinput that happens to me all the time as well. It's a little weird thing. Alright, put it into the corner. Both players missing with their normals. There we go, the aggressive dash out of the corner, taking the real estate. Ooh, nice nice whiff. Nice whiff from both players. And Spades dropped the combo, doubling up into a reset. Gonna have to break with the soft one. Badoor this time, not close to 50 meter. Gets the curse though. Where does the air? Oh, I like that! Instead of going for the anti-air, just targets the landing frames. And because the Stain is on, no matter if it's on block or hit, it's gonna produce favorable results. And Badoor, despite the tricky situation, despite being down a couple of games, not letting go, sharking on the tail of YaBoiSpades, looking for an opportunity to reverse the momentum on this set. The first big RPS wins goes in favor of Spades. Goes for the deflect shield again. This is a very common way how you spend defensive resources on Testament. You are a zoner after all, so your priority number one is try to— oh, that's 6 heavy, goddamn! Badoor with the massive read, and that's not an easy timing as well. I think that's gonna be Badoor has had to hard rate it and had to have lapped that out to get the 6 heavy starter there. The timing on the Kacho who gets to recover is not the most trivial in the world. To the other side, I love that Badoor, you rogue. Absolutely beautiful. To the other side, new stuff with the orange wild assault conversion. Are we not quite getting the Nostrovia there, but the slightly charged Grave Reaper, the the wild assault's taking initially the burst capabilities out of YaBoiSpades, and as a result, in the follow-up situation, YaBoiSpades having a slightly reduced efficacy with that. Again, goes for a hard reach call, and if the opponent hits no button against it, it's a punish. Ooh, big value out of that that hop kick. Basically trusts, ask your opponent to respect and not react in time. That's gonna be a punish. 2K2D, basic stuff. Teleport into close/distance. Spades tries to press something. Nostrovia, I think this should combo. It's a little far away, but still finds its mark. Staying into... Again, the timing is off. Unfortunate, because I think... Unless Badoor knew that that hit exactly was gonna wall stick, there was no way to flow safely into another Nostrovia, which would have been what Badoor wanted. Nice, block the overhead, and without 50 meter present for YaBoiSpades, that's gonna be a big punish. Yeah, again, mounting a very defensive posture here, trying to make potentially the incoming Hujins with those instant air backdashes. Dancing into plus frames. Nice break there. Very brave. Ooh, I like that because... Wait, does... I think in the current patch... Ooh, that's gonna be a big punish. Micro dash, close slash. YaBoiSpades working with the good stuff. RC to make sure that the wall break happens. Or, never mind, drops it just at the precipice. I think even better. Taking the wall break here against the zoner would certainly be a fool's errand. Ooh, the overhead! And finds a big counter hit with the 2S, and that's gonna be a kill because Badoor is too far from the burst still. And once again, Spades growing the distance, growing the gap between the players. Only 2 games though. You would think 2 games, not too hard to achieve. But it has to be more. If you want to go into a winning position, you need to win more than those 2 times in a row. Now once again with the aggressive RPS, reads that Spades will backdash out of those minus frame situations. To the other side. Ooh, but Spades is immediately ready to press a button. Got a stray Arbiter sign, delaying in the air with the 2D. Can Spades press a button? Yes, indeed. Goes for a very fast one as in the form of 2K. Ooh, frame trap with the use of the golden burst. And despite that positive bonus, not being able to build 50 meter early enough, I think Badoor was trying to take advantage of the fact that Spades was so minus there. Then to the other side, flip it for plus frames, deflect shield. Oh! Tried to press a button, but the follow-up, the too heavy follow-up from Badoor, catching Spades from half screen away. It is an amazing normal, but in this matchup, it is such a risk. If Anji player dances into it, you're toast, because it's one of your slowest recovering moves. Amazing on block though, because you can always go into too heavy, which is lots of plus frames. Too far? Yeah, there was no punish for Badoor there. The best you can do is dash forward. That's gonna be a guaranteed throw. No. Okay, I think Badoor probably adjusting. The net play god adjusting to the delay there. Mashing an RC, making sure that the combo is gonna go through. Grid forward, BRC. Ooh, caught the punish, or caught the recovery of the backdash. 6B, our god, please deliver. Sees the, oh my god. The RPS there. It makes sense that you would spin in that scenario, for Testament has such far-ranging pokes. If Testament swings far slash there immediately, you have to spin, right? And that's the read that YaBoiSpades took. But Badoor was already on the next layer and teleported instead straight into the recovery of the spin. Yep. Very common starter here. Get the air throw, get the curse, build meter, and then... Ooh, too low profile there. I think the succubus marker... Wait, huh? Why did that hit? The succubus marker is again way too far back, behind... Oh. The special sequence, a la Spades, hits its mark, finds the wall break, needs one more, 50 is there. Are we gonna burst? No, we're gonna take it easy. We're gonna saving it into the next round. Especially important to not get carried away there, because YaBoiSpades had such a massive live advantage. Now being able to get that out of that massive counter hit round start instead, very, very important. Into. This will be kind of guaranteed Stain for Spades. I mean, you could kind of try to go for a 6P there at some point. The pressure from Testament is kind of interactable, but you have to take huge risks. Often like swinging buttons like 6P. Right, we'll be able to backdash out of the button initially from Spades. No cancel here. Oh, and when it's not a true punish, technically Anji gets to press buttons after being like very minus after the low follow-up. Trade definitely in Spades' favor because we have the stage advantage here, pushing Badoor into the corner. However, 2S starts, gets a lot of value, teleports straight under Anji. Oh, chose to try to poke as a response with the too heavy. However, Spades was too far away. Air hit into. Lots of real estate covered here by Badoor. Getting a guaranteed curse as well. No, Spades dances out of it. Here comes a big punish. Spades drops the combo though. Big RPS situation. Get the throw. And Spades moves on to 6 points with a big 2-game lead here. Is this how it ends? Or is Badoor gonna have one up still? It's tough though, because it's RPS, it's massive amount of RPS that you have to play against Anji. So you have to be, you have to gamble and you have to be right a lot of the times, because Anji is also a damage machine to a certain extent. And Testament, not really. Like, you have to have Stain put on the opponent to have your biggest rewards available. Unfortunate trade there for Badoor. Doesn't do the other side, making sure that there's no bursts here. Could still choose to go for a burst. YaBoiSpades has a lot of meter to spend, but I think we'll probably take it easy here and save it for the next round. 6P is guaranteed. No, doesn't even go for a 6P. Goes for a close slash. The big rewards instead of the small damage stuff. It was a nice steal attempt from YaBoiSpades, but that round definitely was not meant to be. Micro step backwards and then 2S. RPS win there at the round start, however, not here. Spades has had a lot of success for, you know, with those heart rate calls, keeping the opponent in the corner. The Kara Nagiha finds its mark, but the follow-up is not there. Is that gonna... He let go of the stance. He let go of the dance, I think, or maybe it was too far into the active frames already. Finds the frame trap. No, wait! Why did the far slash not hit? Hello? Buff Testament! Buff far slash! Tragedy strikes Badoor! But I mean, he still has a buffer here, being up on rounds, and has a lot of meter as well. 2S does not reach. Big gamble here. All right, okay. If this Wild Assault doesn't find rewards, that could be a huge commitment, could be a huge gamble for Badoor. But deeming that, because YaBoiSpades had so little amount of resources to defend with, it was the best option at that time. Just go for the red Wild Assault, push the offense, and, you know, get a couple of extra mix-ups in there. Nice! Even after whiffing that too heavy, Badoor has time to go for that air throw. That's how fast of an option it is. And from that close range, pop, far slash, we're gonna get a small little combo. Curse is still on. Yep. It's gonna go into Nostrovia if you want. Ooh, unless the 5k whips. Unfortunately, I sometimes hate Testament combos so much. Oh, the butterfly to the rescue! That would have been a kill for Spades, because Badoor would have been in that recovery for a very long time, but the butterfly completely cocks the massive damage combo punish that would have followed for Spades. Really good read here. But there's no follow through. We didn't get the heart knockdown, and it's so important in Guilty Gear Strive to get those heart knockdowns from your mash options. Fully charged, Grave Reaper remains on screen for a very long time. Plus frames from the Stain, pop. Spade says no plus frames. I am plus frames. YRC here. Nice combo. Alright, put the Succubus marker on the table. Okay. Spade's committed into the back jump, so won't be able to punish that the recovery of the throw there. Dances into the fireball. There we go, and that should be a kill. Make sure that that combo is not gonna be dropped. And Badoor, finally, for the first time since this matchup started, Badoor is finally at an even position, and it's either player's prize to take home. It looked so convincing. Well, not necessarily convincing, but Spades had that 1-game, 2-game lead for mostly for the duration of the whole set. Okay, interesting option there with the gold burst. I mean, it was far enough away, and YaBoiSpades is really good at recognizing that distance where the opponent is too far to get a punish anyway. Ah, the second hit, the ever so annoying second hit catch Badoor. Previously, Badoor had a really nice timing there with the 2K between those hits. And now, into Nostrovia. The best. Ooh, looked like an OTG there for a second, but we got the best hard knockdown. Deflect shield. Yeah, okay. I mean, kind of does something. And then the fireball. Set point Badoor. This is kind of why you see the stage 1, the layer 1, the fireball into fireball so much. It's because fireball into Kuro is so interactable and so dangerous. That's why sometimes you just want to throw another fireball, because this is the best fireball in the game. Ooh, no! Spades with the bluff option. I think Badoor was waiting for the RC, but it never came. And now the far slash past that Grave Reaper. That's gonna be nerfed next match. You're not gonna be able to poke through that in the next one. Misses the air throw. Badoor says, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for the throw. Sorry, the burst. Not quite close enough to go for a Nostrovia. Anti-air. Do we have it? The double jump. Air throw. This is dangerous. Spades could be dead here. Teleport behind. However, that doesn't have that. Kajo who gets her has very little recovery. Super is here. Sorry, burst is here. Oh no, he drops the combo. Spades drops the combo. Had the nice read. Back dash shimmy. The throw was there, but Spades didn't get the conversion. One of the few cases that Spades drops the execution in this set, but it's very understandable. The hands are shaking. You know, the next moment is gonna decide the fate of the matchup. And he drops the combo. But that's how it is in fighting games. Still, amazing comeback from Badoor. From being down 2 rounds. The master of Testament. This is what it means to play top-level Testament in the world. A character that has been so looked down upon, so, you know, what's the word? So unappreciated, so... Let's just be honest, the low tier character, it's beautiful when you watch, you know, like master craftsmen who never give up despite what tier list says. Just commit to your craft, play the character that you love, and if you stick with them in balanced fighting games such as Guilty Gear Strive, you can make it despite whatever character you pick. You pick Milia, you pick Zato, you pick Testament, doesn't matter. It's a balanced enough game. You can win. You can still win with the character that you love. What a match. Definitely did not disappoint me. I was looking forward to Spades versus Badoor for such a long time, like basically the whole week, and that definitely did not disappoint. What a match. Holy shit. And we have one more left to go. It's gonna be our very own Radoon coming back from work, engaging in the last match slot with I don't think I still have learned how to pronounce Owned by B Gaming's name. Is there a way to abbreviate that? Can I abbreviate that? Do I have to go for the mouthful every single time? Send help for pronunciation and abbreviation. B Gaming? Is that it? Let's check if we have both of our players ready to go. Let's give B Gaming the ID as well. Like how you have two little white cats in your gear lobby. Yeah. It's you already know why. So you see the two little cats? Those are my babies, my two little Maine Coons, Luna and Milky. Yeah, we got cats at home. And then there's my wife above. Nowheres are gonna know. So yeah, there's a lot of like thought process going into this lobby. It's not random. It's all meant to be there. It's QK lore from top to bottom. But now the final question is, do we have B Gaming on the line? We have Radoon, of course, always ready to go. The king of kings, the showman himself, Radoon Leo, always playing the hard-hitting, flashy characters. Be it Leo, be it Jam, in the older Guilty Gear games. Always with the fancy ones. So far, no response from B Gaming, though. Give me a moment. We could engage in the stalling strategy. Try to buy a couple of extra minutes for B Gaming to show up by talking about stuff in general. I think I'm not gonna talk about this matchup for. I just have very little actual relevant information on how matchups work, because is one of those rare characters that only the very committed players engage in. It's kind of like the same conundrum as with Testament. And even though Ino by no means is a low tier character, I would put Ino in the category where she is kind of technical and kind of difficult, requires a lot of work. And then you don't, like, even after putting in the work, you don't necessarily get as much mileage as some other characters, right? So it's that kind of awkward position where you're playing Happy Chaos, you're playing Asuka, and if those characters are not at the top of the food chain, then you're like, what's the point of playing these characters, right? Because they're some of the most difficult to control fighting game characters out there, especially like Asuka. So there's a little bit of a similar conundrum, not as pronounced with Ino, but Ino still requires a lot of work, lots of manual timings. Your combos have to align perfectly so that your set play flows as well. So a lot of players, even though they kind of dig her, perhaps like design or her flow, might just think that it's just too much work. Why don't I play Soul? Or why don't I play Sin? Or why don't I name another, relatively straightforward, hard-hitting character here instead? So I think that's the reason why we just don't have a lot of players other than the real ones, the absolutely dedicated ones, such as our Lord and Savior Daru Ino, who is kind of single-handedly carrying the sort of the weight of Ino in the world. Really no other super notable Ino player who has made it consistently in these top level events. And that goes to show no matter what you think about Ino's placement in the tier list, it's again the same that we said with Testament. It's like you just play the character that you love. It's a balanced enough game that you can make it. And Daro has made it. Since the olden times, never letting go of Ino. Be a top tier character, like in Exert, or slightly lower tier characters, like in Strive, doesn't matter. Just play it. Just do it. Make it work. If you put enough love and effort into it, you will make it. Ain't no tier list holding you back. Modern fighting games, I tell you. Modern fighting games are really compelling in that sort of way. You can play quotation bottom tiers and they're still balanced enough that you can win in the highest profile tournament in the world. Right, no response for B Gaming still. What else are we gonna talk about? We could talk about the patch happening tomorrow. Huh? 23rd. Interesting thing I've heard. So let me lay out my own opinion of the upcoming patch. So I've heard a lot of whatchamacallit. I've heard a lot of discontent. A lot of bad words. A lot of, you know, just not being happy with what Arxis is putting out tomorrow in the 23rd patch. I would say at this point, like if you've played Guilty Gear Strive for a very long time, or better yet, if you've been a consumer of Guilty Gear Xrd or XX or any other Arc System Works products in the past, you would know that, you know, Arc System Works works very slow. They're a more traditional fighting game company where they're not putting out changes at a rapid fire pace. I know some players were like, all right, we're gonna get changes, so all of the Season 4 changes are gonna be reverted. And I'm like, I'm chuckling in the background and like, who's gonna tell them? Arxis doesn't work like that. Arxis doesn't backpedal on their design decisions on a short term. In fact, Potemkin is probably historically the only one I can remember during Guilty Gear Strive where they're like, all right, maybe we made a mistake here. Maybe we backpedal. Giving Potemkin back Kara special moves is kind of big deal because that's something that Arc System Works doesn't do. And like many other character players other than Potemkin were like, all right, so all of these changes will be like reverted, right? And it's gonna be cool. We're gonna go back to Season 3. No. That's not how it works. And I think that sort of has resulted some players thinking that the patch is not good or great. I think the problem here is like people are expecting a lot of stuff from Arxis. In my opinion, this upcoming patch is much better than the previous one, of course. Everybody wants more interactions, and that's basically what we're gonna get. What we're gonna be getting. No characters got damage buffs, right? The overall damage of the game is gonna go down once again. I think the argument for many players who didn't like the patch much was that they didn't do enough. But you gotta understand that it's a step in the right direction once again, and the process is pretty slow. I would much rather have this patch right now, this year, rather than playing the original initial Season 4 patch for the next 6 months, right? Is way better. So I'm kind of, I don't want to sound too defeatist or like, I don't want to give an impression that I've given up on Arxis, but I just sort of, nowadays, I don't expect too much of them, right? They're gonna work at their own pace, and at this point, we've learned what Guilty Gear Strive is about. The sort of, the universal direction for this game, the design philosophy, it's never gonna change. Strive is always gonna be Strive. And I think if you're playing Strive currently and are not happy with the, you know, how it's been, how it's always been, how it's now, it's like things will change, but the general spirit of Strive is never gonna change. This is the game that Strive is gonna be. until the next product that Arc System Works is gonna put out. And I think that's kind of like my TLDR, or my thoughts on the upcoming patch. Yeah, it won't get patched into a different game. And I think people who want that to happen are going to be very disappointed. I personally had a lot of fun with Season 4. I mean, both Season 3 and Season 4. As soon as they patched my boy in the game again, like Season 2 Sin was a travesty. But as soon as Season 3 hit and we got more options for managing resources, and I had an actual, decent character to play with, I've been enjoying the game. I've treated it as Guilty Gear Strive. I played it from the beginning. Like, I knew what it was gonna be. But it took a couple of nudges for me to get what I wanted in the game, which was a playable character that I like and more resource management. So, like, no matter what you think, like, I don't particularly care what Wild Assault is or how powerful it is, as long as it gives more layers to meter management game. Because it's like, I love I love resource management so much. Probably like obvious, considering what kind of characters I've played for a very long time. One of them being Sinkisk. I'm actually surprised that I didn't start Guilty Gear Strive with Nagoriyuki. If we had this version of Nagoriyuki at the start of Guilty Gear Strive, I think I would have been sold on Nago, and I would have probably stuck with Nago. I like the fun Gundam fighting games. 50% movement and 50% resource management. Yeah, they're still like very different kinds of games. I'm still to a certain extent an old dog, and it might be a little difficult for me to learn new fundamentals. That's why I'm a little scared about like trying my hands at 3D fighting games, or even just like slightly different kinds of 2D fighting games. For example, I'm actually kind of terrified of 2XKO, because I've never played a proper tag game. Like, I didn't play Dragon Ball FighterZ much, didn't play Marvel, didn't play any of that. So I'm like, am I actually gonna acquire the fundamentals needed to play this video game at a decently high level? Of course, if you don't expect too much of yourself. Like, I'm a little harsh on myself in that way. Like, just because I was at a very competitive level at Guilty Gear Xrd has kinda caused me to fall sometimes into this mind loop where I'm like, I should do better than this. I know that I'm capable of more, and then just being overly what's the word I'm looking for? Disappointed in myself when I don't necessarily place at super high, positions in tournaments and whatnot. I'm still looking for that top 8 spot in just a Finnish national level. And I've gotten so close. I've fallen just out of top 8 for so many times, and it keeps eluding me. And I'm like, is this game really, can I actually get anywhere with this game? But you shouldn't expect too much of yourself at the end of the day. Just have fun, and just have fun. It's all you need. Video games are for having fun. And if you have enough fun, then eventually you're gonna get there. If it's engaging enough, and if you keep honing your craft, eventually you'll get there. That's same with me too. I took a long break from Guilty Gear Strive between Season 1 and Season 3. So, like, I can't expect myself to just magically be a top Strive player. Like, I didn't play Strive as much as, like, some of them. Hey, Riot? Yeah, I'm not too fond of Riot either, but I'm very fond of the prospect of the fighting game scene getting lots of money pumped into it. So there's a lot of potential. So in that sense, I'm very excited about 2x KO. And I'm definitely gonna give it a try, just because it's gonna be kind of the next big thing among like Street Fighter and Tekken and potentially Guilty Gear, depending on what way Arc System Works is gonna take this franchise. I mean, currently Arc System Works has a pretty decent grip on the market, finally being able to be called one of the like big three, I think, is a fair assessment. And of course, Capcom and, you know, Namco are always gonna be there with their flagship games. I don't think that's ever gonna change. But is little indie company Arc System Works gonna be able to hang with the best of them in the future as well? Remains to be seen. Okay, so I've done my best stalling. We've waited for quite a while. Maybe it's time. Is it time to call Christmas at this point? Is it time to take a Christmas break? I'm so sorry for Radoon though, because it's been a while since Radoon has been on. Because like, of course, Radoon is one of those players who like almost always signs up, and you kind of have to balance it out sometimes, especially during weeks where we have like 30 to 40 signups, and I'm like, all right, can I like put Radoon in instead of somebody like super new? Like, I want to see Radoon so bad, but I mean, Radoon is that one player who plays the absolute most on, you know, bounty hunters. Not just bounty hunters, but like in all my events. Radoon is like the super homie. So I feel so bad every time I can't, like, in the name of being fair, give him a matchup. Christmas coming early. In Christmas coming early in the worst possible ways. Oh my god. Well, let's figure out where we would go if through some miracle, or if through some unfortunate circumstances, if B Gaming does not show up in the next 2 minutes, where would we go? Is CE Otaku on already? That's probably where you guys want to be watching your next matches anyway. Maybe I'll send you guys to Leapfrog Pocho's stream. The good old Exer stuff. And Leapfrog is a homie as well. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're gonna call it here. So thank you everybody for participating and being here playing. Have an amazing Christmas. It's been another amazing year with you guys. I mean, we still have one event before the end of the year, but it's been a blast, and my passion for hosting events, especially Guilty Gear events, has never really gone anywhere. And yeah, I wonder why that is. It's an amazing franchise, and we have some amazing people here. Not just like in my community, but just fighting game players have so much passion for the game, and you kind of like absorb that and you know, it's infectious. The passion for the craft is very, very infectious. So thank you very much. If you want to play next week, we will have an event before the end of the year. So one good place to check up the sign-up forms is my Discord. That said, yeah, same thing next week, 5 p.m. CET, Sunday evening every time. I'll send you to Leapfrog stream for now. Have a really nice and peaceful Christmas, everybody. Don't play too many fighting games. I mean, you can play fighting games on Christmas. That's okay. Just don't get too tilted, because you know, Christmas, peace, and everything. And I'll see you again next week. Till then, bye bye.